I don't know if I have those necessary skills to beatbox. Hello to you, Brandy. I think you showed up late last night, so you're gonna be in for a treat tonight. I'm gonna be right back, though. I'm not 100% ready myself, but I'll be right back. What is going on, guys? Sorry I had to step away for one moment. I've got a cut in my mouth. It's been taking quite a while to heal, and I didn't talk about it the other day, but it makes it a little bit difficult to talk sometimes, so I used a numbing agent right now to help me along. I had to use it yesterday before the show, and I had to use it during the video as well, just to kind of make sure that I'm not in pain while I'm doing the show. But I should be okay. Should be good for another half hour or so, give or take. I'm going to double check that the air is on, because it is getting hot in here. Even though I know we are in a rainy period, I need to make sure that we got some air blowing through here. Give me 1 second. I guess it's just all the running around that's got me hot right now. I was in a mad dash to get back here. It's just, without fail, no matter how much prep I put in, I'm just still running around like crazy. We got a few surprises for tonight. Nothing too crazy though, but something to help spice up the show a bit for those of you who were here the other day. But yeah, And then after the show starts, we may not actually talk about yesterday's misfires, but we'll see. We'll see. I do want the show to be a nice standalone. And I got my ice water right here. Thank you. It's gonna be a nice empty house tonight, looks like. But that's okay. We'll have some fun. Oh. We'll make this happen. I don't think I've ever gone live on a Monday before either. So I have no clue what type of audience we'll have for tonight. None whatsoever. But yeah, how was everyone doing tonight? Y'all doing good? Everyone having a good time? Good time? Maybe if I get this fan blowing at me just for a little bit. Just till the show starts. But I know my computer is going to want to overheat. Definitely, Roger. I hope you made it back. I know you were out driving around in the rain, so hopefully nice and settled in. Fat Girl Sewing. We didn't see you last night. Happy to see you tonight. Thanks for popping on in. There you go, Roger. What kind of show are you going to do? I am curious. And I've got some extra equipment if you're in the market. I got some stuff that I'm going to be retiring. I know you got gear already. I know you got some quality stuff, but if you're looking for like this exact style setup, I've got 2 more of these setups ready to rock and roll. You were busy watching Game of Thrones, huh? Is it gonna be a full variety show, or is it gonna be geared towards e-com, or is it just gonna be a little bit of everything? We got Pam in the house. Need to be able to make an overlay where they can see the chat and ticker, but that's if I want the ticker. Pat, back again. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you being here this evening. Roger, I can assist you in building that overlay if you'd like. All of the assets, 100% of them, are hand-built by me. I haven't used Fiverr or hired a contractor or anything. 100% done in-house. So if you want an overlay built, I can either help you build one, or I can show you where to go and teach you the fundamentals of building one, so that way, you know, anytime you want to make a change, you're going to be able to do it. And if you haven't seen my video on creating ads for sourcing local, it's the same exact software that I use through there. But the thing with overlays, it's important to understand, because I even looked online too to try and get a better understanding of how they worked and what they look like, looking at references and stuff. And obviously there's no real person who's ever used OBS at the capacity that I'm using it for e-commerce shows. So there wasn't great examples out there for me. But the thing that I saw that really stuck with me is it said that you're going to make your overlay, and then you're going to make it again and again and again and again and again and again, and eventually you'll make it a few more times and then you'll like it. And he said that you can make your overlay 100 times before you get to where you want it. And our overlay, it's been done probably 7 or 8 times now. And then even our slides, you know, the slides that run through, I played around with different fonts. We started with Oleo, now we're using Able, which is a nice fine, thin font, makes it easier to read. We've changed if you go back and you look 2 months ago at the slides were a lighter gray. Now they're about, I'd probably say, I don't know, about 10% darker than they were previously. It's a little bit easier on the eyes. Yeah, so you're going to constantly be changing and evolving stuff. Even our logo, our BOLO RAMA logo has been adjusted, I don't know, 7 or 8 times now to get it to where it's at. And it's still not, it's probably not its final form, but it does look really good where it's at. So, but yeah, Roger, I'd be happy to show you. But definitely make sure you've seen that video first, so that way I don't got to go over all the basic stuff. And then in the Patron Lounge, the back page, there's an hour-long extended bonus training, which is a continuum of that first one that you can watch that'll really expand the amount of knowledge base that you'll have doing your own editing. I want to keep it simple. I won't need that many slides because I know what the questions are, or I won't know what the questions are until they ask. You won't necessarily need slides, but what I would recommend is just having a handful of different scenes. So you have, like here, we have our pre-roll scene, we have our main scene, we have our slideshow scene, and then we have our intro and outro. So we have a total of just 6 different things that we use, but they all have their own place. So I would suggest going about it that direction personally, because keeping it simple is huge. And then if you're feeling a little luxurious, I would suggest buying some gear to help you out just with the process. I'm using a Stream Deck, and this bad boy really helps me out. All of these are custom preset. You can change the buttons to be whatever you want. You can have subset folders inside of there, and this allows me to be a lot more effective while I'm streaming, because I'm simply pressing buttons over here and not having to manipulate the mouse or anything like that. And it is a little bit, I think it's like $125, but it allows the whole thing to be a little more polished. So yeah, I'm just toggling through scenes here. I can queue up the music. I can use it to navigate slideshows. There's still optimizations that need to be done for it to make it the best that it could be, but it's one of those, it's not broken now, so I'm not doing much more with it. I like the font you're using next to the pirate ship logo. I can read it. Yeah, that font is Abel font, A-B-E-L. It's a really tidy font if you're looking for something that's minimal, but still interesting. But I would say, though, and I always stress this, there's a lot of great examples of stuff online, but you're going to want to pick a font that's very, built towards the industry that you're going into. And in that extended training, we talked about the font Bangers, which is a very high impact font. It's really good, like if you're building art and stuff, or advertisements and stuff geared towards the comics, collectible, trading card arena, or if you're doing video content towards that. But if you're looking for stuff that's, like this, a little more relaxed, a little more professional, you just want your font to really reflect that. And bad fonts and bad branding are one of the things that I hate the most. I'm actually doing a job for this company here. And look at this card. No disrespect to them, but this is a atrocious card. And I was at a yard sale, and they had this laying on their table, and they had some examples of the stuff that they do. And I picked up the card and I said, "How happy are you with this?" And I'm like, I don't mean to offend you, but are you really satisfied with this? And they said, "Well, not exactly. We just kind of needed to get it done." I'm like, okay. I'm like, I really feel I could do a much better job. If you're willing to spend the money, I can make something that's much better, that has more, it's more derivative of the brand. It just would make more sense with what you have going on here. Because you can see it's just a very awkward logo across the top. The font, when you think of custom creations, and we're working with wood, that very whimsical, very light, almost cursive-ish looking font, I think of fabrics. I think of clothing. I think of, stuff to that effect. I don't think of woodworking, okay, or wooden signs. It's just not very on point. So I'm putting I'm putting together something for them. I'm going to send it out, heavily watermarked, of course, and I'm probably going to charge them $500 to redo their branding. And even the extra information that they have here across the back, I told them all business cards should contain everything you need across the front. let me see, Able spelled right. Yes, it should be Able. Now, if you're using certain software, isn't going to have the Able font. But you can go download the font though and add it to almost anything. Yuck, forgot it as soon as out of screen. Yeah, that's the thing about it. It's not cleanly branded. The colors are really atrocious. Anytime anyone uses real images in the background, you have to be very, very careful about that. It's just hard to make it look good. This is, you know what I would see when I see this? I see a flooring company, okay? I see flooring, I see like hardwood sales, carpet sales even, maybe industrial cleaning. You know, you're a company that specializes in cleaning wood, construction. I could see any one of those being the correct, let me fix this really quick. I could see any one of those being the correct application for using that, not wood signs. It just doesn't work. Yes, boutique. Exactly. This is definitely reminiscent of a boutique. Yeah. And then the other thing too, we have 4 different fonts on the front of this card. One in the logo and then 3 different fonts down below. And here's one of those things, guys. You may not know this. I have spent, 40 or 50 hours, probably in the last like 60 days, just working on logos and branding and creating stuff for people and researching and getting better and sharper at it. Probably spent, I don't know, 300-400 hours in total doing business marketing and branding. So if you need something like a world-class piece put together, I can do it. Especially if this is the starting point. So hopefully I'll be able to get the job. It'll be $400 or $500 and I'll throw it towards the pot of what we got going on now. I hope you guys are ready for a good show tonight. It's going to be a real banger. Oh, and Roger, I picked this up the other day. It came with part of a kit for my phone, and I wanted you to see this. It's a portable LED panel in its case, and it has a headphone jack on the end just so you can plug it into your phone. This thing is stupid bright. This is the lowest setting, okay? And I know it's not going to reflect well on screen. Okay, maybe that was the highest setting, but this thing gets just absurdly bright. But I think you can pick these up for a couple of bucks online. Really nice to have. Pat says, I need to have that grouchy old lady message you. Which one? Which old lady? Who are we talking about? I dealt with some real grouches over the last 24 hours. We lost, I think we lost 3 or 4 subscribers because the people were upset that the video wasn't online. And then we also, excuse me, we also got 3 dislikes on that video that I put up yesterday, very kindly explaining what happened. The one on Book of Faces. I'm not following, I'm sorry. You're gonna have to explain. Do you have a link to a site where you sell those services for logos or for etc.? No, actually, I don't, because it's more of a passion project. It's nothing that I'm looking to permanently monetize. I already have so many other things that I'm doing currently. It's one of those things where if I see a bad one, especially locally, and I can help my local market out by providing my services for them, I'm all for it. Or if somebody within the community, they want my assistance doing it, or they see my show and they like the assets or something, I'll definitely step in, and I'm willing to do that as well. But it's nothing that I actively pursue. My passion is in video right now. The next big thing I want to do is I want to create some digital shorts, like, 5-minute, 10-minute movies. Facebook, Gretchen, you're still going to have to explain to me exactly what you mean. I'm sorry if I'm being a little dense right now. My coffee might have me a little foggy in the head. Greetings to you as well, Perf. Callie, pleasure to have you. You want a logo done, Roger? I'll be happy to work with you to put together a world-class logo. And here's the other thing too, is some people just don't understand how to price things correctly either. I had somebody that I know knows how to do music really, really well. And I asked him how much it would cost to have music put together for my show. And he quoted me, I kid you not, okay, $400 a minute finished project music, okay? And I told him, you are out of your gourd. That is not going to happen. And you have to budget what you're going to charge a client based on the amount of money that they have coming in. You're not going to charge Nike the same rate for an ad as you're going to charge the flooring liquidator place down the street from you. It's important to understand your customers, and maybe we'll talk about that here a little bit later. But it's deja vu. I couldn't let that one pass by. I think we have a show to do. I think that's what we're here for, right? I think we have a thing to do where we talk about news and What is going on, guys? Jay Craft here with the Facebook group BOLO coming at you live from beautiful Bakersfield, California. Today is Monday, May 20th, 2019, and I've got a huge show in store for you guys. Now, obviously, we got to talk about the elephant in the room. Today is Monday and not Sunday, and yesterday we had some technical difficulties during the show. So I know some of you were here yesterday and you're back here again today, but those of you who are here and you missed yesterday because you were watching Game of Thrones or you got busy or you've never been able to make it on a Sunday and you're joining me for a Monday for the first time, thank you to you for being here. And tonight's show is going to be even better than last night's because I got a bunch of surprises in store that I haven't told anyone about yet today. So I want to thank you for coming back around, those of you who did, and we're going to make it a wonderful time. Now, obviously, we're going to be talking about the news. We got some big stuff going on with Amazon. I think some of you might know what I'm talking about. We got some changes happening here and there within the market. We're going to talk a little bit about California weather and how it may affect your ability to make money during the rainy season and some of the things that you can do to make sure that your revenue stays on point. Whether it's raining, snowing, whether you just don't feel like leaving the house, we're going to be covering a bunch of that. And on top of that, we have the re-edited, remastered Miss Debunked for Resellers video that's going to be premiering tonight for the first time ever on my channel, fully functional, guaranteed, or I'm going to quit my day job. That's just going to be it for me. On top of that, guys, we're going to be looking at my pickups on the week, and maybe somebody went back out again today, so that way we could have some new items to look at. So thank you again for everyone for being here tonight. Let's have ourselves a great time. Big thank you to our admins in the audience. Tonight we have both Pam and Mindy assisting us as always. And an extra special thanks to all of our patrons who make this possible. We're going to talk about 3 in particular right now. Firstly, we're going to talk about Brandy. Thank you so much for being our latest patron to join us over the last week. We're also going to thank Rainey for being with us for the last 2 years, and she's moving on to bigger and better things, and her ongoing support really did make a great impact here for our channel, so we do want to give her a personal thank you. And then also, we want to extend a small apology to Georgia. We accidentally forgot to include her in the credits as well as our thank you card for the last possibly a year now. So we've made the adjustments and should be recognized, but I wanted to give her a personal, direct, and sincere thank you. So thank you to everyone. And I'm seeing some nice stuff being said about my shirt. This is a brand new shirt. It is they call the color coral, and we got some cute little, what are these, palm trees? Palm trees. They look embroidered. I can assure you they're not, but they really did give that illusion off. This is one of the new ones that I got so we can better prepare for eBay Open as it comes around the corner. Those of you who don't know, we are raising money for eBay Open. I also want to give an extra thank you to both Roger as well as Joe, who contributed during last night's show. Now, I understand because of the technical issues, those contributions are eligible for a refund, and I wouldn't hold it against you if you wanted to pull them back and kick them back to the next one, or just pull them back for yourself, and that is part of the super chat system. I do have to let you know that that is possible if you would like to. Just full disclosure for you guys. So, aloha to you as well, Lee, and welcome to, we got Pat, Tammy, Callie, Roger, who else do we have in here tonight? Brandy, Fat Girl Sewing's in the house. We got a bunch of people, and if you haven't said hello, say hello in the comments. I am always happy to see everyone who takes the time to be here for us. And did we break the chat already? Was it that quick that we were able to break it? I can't believe it, guys. It is a brand new record. We'll see about if we can get that fixed, though. We'll see how that works out. So, let's go ahead and bring up our slideshow for the week, guys, so that way we can go ahead and tear into our news. Like I said, our entire show is Patreon funded. If you don't know what that is, visit patreon.com/BOLORAMA. It's kind of like PBS, where you can go ahead and give an extra helping hand to our program to be able to help keep us on the air and fund improvements, some of which we're going to be looking at tonight. Extra special thank you to both Pam, Matthew, Pamela, Ashley, and Joe, Allie, Lee James, the one and only, and our newest patron, Brandy. Guys, let's take a look at some news. Now, this week's news is going to be easier than ever because I don't even think I'm going to have to use my notes. I'm going to pull them up anyways just because. And I want to let you guys know, too, we're going to have some extra story time tonight, too, just because some of this stuff we're going to be able to burn through as well. So first up, if you guys didn't know, Amazon wants you to deliver their packages, and that sounds grossly inappropriate, but what they're talking about is the fact that we are moving from a 2-day shipping model to a 1-day shipping model, and they really need some extra assistance to be able to pull this bad boy off, which I don't blame them, because the logistics behind this is absolutely absurd. Now, we've talked before about how other companies have really tried to revolutionize the space, because when we look at e-commerce as a whole, okay, everyone's trying to do the same thing. They're trying to ensure that they have the best products and that they're driving them directly to the consumer with as few friction points as possible from point A to point B. Now, point A would be me, the consumer, interested in buying a product. And if I can very quickly go through, make my purchase, and then we can expedite the process of getting the product to me, the more likely I'm going to be satisfied with the transaction. And I really want you to keep that in mind. When we talk about things that you can do on eBay to improve your performance and improve your sell-through, one of the big things that we mentioned is 1-day handling. The quicker you can get your product to your consumer, the better the experience they can have. We talk about packaging theater as well. There's a whole lot of things that you can do to make sure that the customer is a truly happy customer. And I think Amazon is really pioneering that path forward in reducing these friction points and ensuring that the customer experience is a good one. The biggest thing that we see them doing is this giant move to push to 1-day handling, or 1-day shipping, not even 1-day handling. The other day I bought something from Walmart and I found it a absolutely pleasant experience. Now, it was something that I wanted to buy in person, and I even went to the store to try and get it. It was a Braun Series 7 electric shaver, and I will talk about this later. Guys, if you're not properly sanitizing your razors, women, if you're not properly sanitizing your razors, you could put yourself in a world of hurt. We'll get to that later on, but I decided it was time to buy a new one. I hadn't gotten a new one in, 6, 7, 8 years. I go on Walmart.com to make the order because I can't find it in store. I get a great price on it, cheaper than what I could have paid for it on eBay after a $50 mail-in rebate. Bad boy gets sent to me in under 24 hours. Under 24 hours. I ordered it about 8 p.m. that night. The very next day, about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, it shows up on my doorstep. And this is Walmart. Now, obviously, I got lucky. It was a close location. It probably shipped out from my own town and arrived here for me. But that level of service and that speed is one of the things that's going to push me over the tipping point. Because we talked about this before. We said, what is it going to take for the average consumer to say, yes, this is worth my time and money? Yes, I'm willing to go ahead and jump that barrier across. Now, I can see Amazon doing some really interesting things moving forward to be able to potentially bundle certain services and features together. Because right now there's, everyone's talking about Netflix or they're talking about Hulu. But people won't really talk about the power of Amazon Video. It's one of the areas where they're lagging behind. But it's important to remember the amount of reach that they have. When we talk about the innovations and the changes and the processes that are happening with Amazon, we see they're putting their hands in so many different cookie jars. They have the reach with books. They have the reach with groceries. They have the reach with payments now. They have so much reach. And it's only going to be a matter of time before I see some type of bundling effect happening where they're going to say, if $100 isn't a good enough value for you, what about if we do, how about $150 a year? But we'll go ahead and give you the video, and maybe we'll go and toss in the music as well. Or we'll give you the music and we'll toss in the books. You can pick 2 of the services. Or if you want all 3, we'll give you all 3 for $200 a year. Because the thing is, the infrastructure and the overhead's already built. So when we talk about reducing these points of friction, they need to hire a lot of people to make this happen. Okay, so as of right now, they're willing to spend about $800 million with an M dollars to make this happen. Nearly $1 billion, and they're willing to give you a lot of perks if you want to come on board as well. They're going to give you $10,000 to start your own business to be able to handle delivery for people. And on top of that, they're going to give you 3 months worth of salary. Fat Girl Sewing said, Amazon Video finally got me because they picked up Doctor Who. Do not tell Mindy that or she will be jumping over immediately. Pam says, they also make their own movies and TV shows for Prime now. I get it for free. That's pretty flippin' awesome. Yeah, I'd like your username and password after the show if you don't mind. On top of that, some of the comps, if you decide that you want to go this direction with your future, is that you can actually lease vans from them. You get your own uniforms, you get discounts on gas, and you get access to their entire host of software and tools that allow individual couriers to be successful. They're giving you all the tools you need to be successful, and it's up to you to decide what you do with them. Doesn't that sound familiar with something that I have said before on the show? It's important. You have access to all the information that you need. You know what's funny? I was walking around a thrift store earlier today, and I saw a sealed copy of Encyclopedia Britannica 2000 on CD. And it was one of the big box ones, and I picked it up, and I went to scan it. And as I scanned it, I told myself, I'm like, there's not a chance that this is going to be worth anything. And it scans up, brand new, sealed, $6.05, gross profit, maybe about $1, slow-moving ASIN rank, about 4 million. Okay? No one in their right mind is going to buy that thing. Just think, 15 years ago, how important encyclopedias were. That the power of this information, whoever was the one to write it, you know, whichever historians or authors that they had behind it, it was a very controlled type of process, and there was only so much information available, and we paid a ridiculous premium to be able to get this information. And now we live in a society where all of the information you could ever ask for is right at your fingertips, and we don't have to work or fight for it at all. But so many people just look the other direction rather than taking the help and advice and training that's right there in front of them. So I've said it before. We all have access to all the tools that we need to succeed. It's simply a matter of whether or not you're going to be using them. Now, with this program that Amazon's doing, it originally was for Amazon employees. Now it's accessible to everyone. And they said that if you can get up to a point where you have 40 trucks, that you can actually make about $300,000 a year. Now, I don't know if that's after everything's said and done, but it's pretty impressive. Now, this program is going to be available in the US, the UK, and Spain. So if you're thinking about pulling the trigger and doing something interesting, doing something a little bit different, might be your opportunity to do that. I think it's cool. I think it's cool that Amazon is setting up opportunities and extending them out to people, but they're really going to need the help to make this happen. As of right now, they have 200 people that have been doing it since about June, and they're probably going to need to expand to about 2,000, maybe even more companies than that to be able to manage this. I can expect to see a time in the future where we see Amazon vans as frequently as we see USPS, UPS, or FedEx trucks rolling down the street. It's a reality I can see coming. Pat says 40 trucks. They forced their previous logistics company out of business. It wouldn't surprise me. There's not many things that Amazon isn't capable of doing on their own for less money and probably better. That's the real gimmick to it, is that they have so much power and so much reach because they have their hand in so many things. I mean, look at Google. You know, Google is in a position where they can either build it, hire somebody to build it, acquire it, do it better. They don't need anyone's help at this point. It's crazy. It's a force that isn't going to be stopping anytime soon. And we're going to talk a little bit more about Amazon here towards the end of the show. Now, guys, like I said before, we have tonight's premiere, first time ever being shown online, Reseller Miss, a video produced by me. Now, I want to let you guys know I worked very hard on this video. We got about 24 hours worth of work into this video, and I do believe it is the most comprehensive video ever made on the topic of reseller myths that I felt needed to be debunked online. A lot of information that's going to be covered in this one. If you haven't seen it before, grab yourself a pen and paper. It's going to be a good one to watch. Please enjoy the following program, and I will be back right after it ends in about a half hour. Please enjoy. Well, here we are again. Who's ready to learn some new stuff? It goes without saying that in the world of e-commerce, I think a lot of people think they know best. But the reality is, when it comes to web teachers, gurus, e-commerce trainers, specialists, and more, there can really only be one person who's right. Now, I'm not saying that person is me, But what I am saying is we are going to use some fact-based empirical evidence to disprove some of the myths that I've been seeing going around online that I think I should have gotten to a long time ago. Refresh inventory! Some of which you've heard before. You better all be gone by the time I get back. Some of which you haven't. Some that may actually have some truth to them. And some things you've seen in some Facebook groups that are just downright wrong. We're going to be talking about the myths that I've seen floating around online, some of the ones that I've seen offline, but the most important thing of all is we're going to be giving you practical advice that you can use to guarantee an increase in your sales. Hello everyone, my name is Jay Kraft with the Facebook group BOLO Pickers Lounge, and I'm here today to make some enemies, and maybe a few friends. And the reason I say that is because with all the different people out there trying to teach you things that you can do to increase your sales online, there is going to be some bad advice, and I want to make it clear, bad advice is a lot more expensive than good advice. And no, I'm not here to sell you a course, sell you a program, sell you a training video. None of that stuff at all. Our entire channel is Patreon funded, kind of like PBS. So if you enjoy what we do, or if you want to be a part of our group is completely free. Check out the links down below. Why would I make enemies though, you ask? Well, some of the stuff that we're going to be talking about today may be stuff that you are doing yourself. Just like with my last video when we talked about standardized pricing and how you can increase the amount of revenue that you make on each and every sale without having to spend more money or without having to go to extreme lengths. Today we're going to be covering a few things that you might be doing now or someone you respect within the community may be suggesting that you do. Now, I don't want to go out on a limb and, name names or anything like that, but it will happen where some of the stuff that I'm going to be talking about today, you will see someone else saying is fact, is evidence, and is something that you should be doing for your business. I can 100% guarantee you that I have triple fact-checked everything that I'm going to be saying to you today, and with the utmost of certainty, everything within this video is true. Before we get into the actual training and myth debunking, it's very important that I stop and I explain a concept that some of you may have heard and some of you may know very well. It's called pigeon logic. Now, you might have seen that tossed out a few times before to try and debunk theories but didn't take the time to research it. Well, I'm here and I'm here to help you out with that. So pigeon logic is a term that was coined when a scientist many years back conducted an experiment with where he had pigeons inside of cages and he would dispense food pellets to the animals. Now, they weren't being starved, they weren't under any harsh conditions whatsoever, but the food would randomly be dispensed to them at random times throughout the day. They were given more than enough food to survive throughout the day, and what would happen is the pigeons would attempt to try and figure out why the food was coming out. They would believe that certain things that they did had an influence as to whether or not food would come out more frequently, to the point where you would see some pigeons stamping their feet on the ground or spinning in circles, even doing head bobs to try and get more food to come out. Now, obviously on our end, we know that none of the actions that they would do could change how the random number generator would work to generate food to come out. But in the mind of the pigeon, they felt that if they did these actions, that they could increase the amount of food that would come out, the likelihood of food coming out, or the frequency at which that food did come out. It even got to a point where certain birds would do very elaborate dances, stomping, bobbing, spinning, and more for minutes on end in attempts to get the food to come out. Now, when something that they did actually worked and food came out, it would confirm for them that what they were doing was correct. But when they tried something and it did not work, they would remove it from their dance routine. Like I said, we understand that nothing that they do would have a bearing on whether or not the food would come out. Now, we can take this same type of information and understanding and we can apply it to what we do here on eBay. Certain things do work and certain things don't work, but it's important that because of your individual results trying something out, that you do not let your bias or your expectation for success or our natural human instinct to find patterns in what we do change the reality of some things work and some things don't. Now that you have an understanding of pigeon logic, I feel we should go ahead and step through some of the things that I hear the most here online. One of the most common things that I hear from e-commerce trainers as well as on Facebook groups is refreshing your inventory. Refresh inventory! The basic concept is that if you remove all of your items offline and then relist all of them again, it's somehow going to show a dramatic boost in your sales. The first thing you need to know that any action that you take on your account that's theoretically going to dramatically boost your sales and make sure that items fly out the door, if anyone tells you this, please take it with a grain of salt. Because if this truly did work, every single e-commerce seller, trainer, or guru would have an empty store. They would have no items online whatsoever. Ask to see their URL, ask to take a look at their store, and take a peek at their actual sell-through. Because if it was simply a matter of unlisting and relisting items, they would have nothing left. So what we are seeing when people do this is we are seeing, again, pigeon logic. Items are happening to sell when they get placed back online, and people are drawing a correlation between the two activities. Now, what could really be happening, though? This is important to understand. What could be happening is somebody could have been watching an item, saw that it fell off, went back on again to try and find the item, realized the item was there and thought, uh-oh, I missed it last time, this might be my opportunity to get it this time. Or we could simply have somebody who was interested in buying that item happen to log in and purchase that item. See, because we do not understand the variables at play here, and there is no way to control the variables at play here, we cannot mark this as something that sellers should do. We simply cannot prove that this is something that is going to benefit your sales. Now, you again, like I said, you may have individual results that may vary, and you may say this works every time I do this, it does. But remember, we as humans, we focus our time, attention, and energy on the positives and the successes for our brand, and we will more easily write off our failures. We like finding patterns in what we do. But I do want to talk about the downsides of doing this. If you think to yourself, I have 500 items online, in reality, you probably have close to 100 watchers across all 500 items. Of course, a few of them are going to take the majority of those watchers. When you delist those items, goodbye watchers. They are gone for good, and you may not ever get them back again. On top of that, anyone who has that listing bookmark and they are planning on coming back to it, and maybe they aren't watching the item specifically, maybe they don't even have an eBay account and they're buying as a guest. Those who have bookmarked those listings, that URL is gone as well. Now, when I hear that I'm going to lose 100% of my watchers on my store and a trainer is advising me to do that, it really, really concerns me and makes me wonder the motivation behind saying things like this. Now, the intentions may be good, but the reality is the damage that you could do to your account could be very long-standing after such a thing. We also need to take into account fringe scenarios as well. What about the person who's waiting for payday? What about the person whose birthday is coming up, or their friend's birthday is coming up? Or maybe a person who's waiting till they get back from vacation. Be very, very mindful about ending all of your listings and placing them back online. If you're concerned about the rank of your items, there's actually other ways to improve your items' rank that does not require you to take them offline. We will get to those later in this video. One of the other ones that I hear often that hopefully won't require much explanation is vacation mode. You better all be gone by the time I get back. I don't know where this idea came from, that by placing your store on vacation mode, whether for half a day or a full day or just for a few minutes and then taking it off, is somehow going to provide a surge of sales to your account, again, is completely false and not based in any type of evidence whatsoever. If, as I said earlier, if it was simply that easy to get a boost in your sales, every single person would be doing this every 15 minutes to drive all of their inventory out the door, and our stores would have 0 items active. The reason we see this is because when we do use vacation mode, if we get a surge in sales, we immediately want to correlate it to that. But the reality is, if I get a surge of sales on a Monday, a Thursday, 2 days after Christmas, if I get that surge of sales, what do I attribute it to? If I didn't put my store on vacation mode, if I did no other changes to my account, and then poof, all of a sudden, I got a non-seasonal rush of sales from assorted different categories, what do we attribute that to? So we as humans, we want to peg it to something. So what happens is if you've gone on vacation mode often and you see a spike in your sales a couple of times, again, it's pigeon logic, and we simply want to associate the two to make some type of connection in our mind that we had an effect on our store's success. Now, one of the next ones. This is one of the ones that can go both directions. It is my job to make sure that I give fact-based information, so I want to stress that there is some conjecture in here and a little bit of stretching. Not stretching of the truth, but stretching to be able to show that there could be an influence on what you're doing. What we're talking about is we're talking about listing more items. I've heard people say this often: if I list 3 times a week, if I list 5 days a week, if I schedule my listings and list them intermittently, I see a bump in sales. Now, having more items online doesn't necessarily mean that each individual listing has a higher opportunity to sell. We need to look at each item individually. Me listing a t-shirt on Tuesday and listing a sombrero on Saturday have no relation with each other, except for a situation where a buyer has come to my store and they are going through my inventory. If somebody likes me as a seller and they're bouncing around on my store and seeing my other items I have for sale, certainly the number of listings I have could have an influence on that. But me simply listing an individual listing will have no bearing or effect on the rate at which my other items are seen organically through search, nor will having 10,000 unique listings and adding one more affect any of the other stuff that's going on. Now, obviously though, having more items online will increase your total sell-through rate simply because you have more opportunities to sell to more people with more items being online. And I feel that there's a certain level of false equivalency by comparing the two, that by saying listing a new item will boost the sales of all of my other items on my store. And again, I respect if this is something that you do and you feel works for you. Do whatever makes you happiest with your store. Do whatever you feel is generating revenue for you. But it's important though, if you are a trainer, if you are an educator, that you separate opinion from fact. You can have as many opinions as you'd like on what works for you, but if you are putting out facts regarding what people can do to increase their sales, you have to be mindful of what you're doing. Basically, by saying that people should slowly list their items online, I want you to consider the downside of that. Let's say I have 30 items that I'm capable of listing today, but because I am trying your method of gapping my items out, all of these items that could be visible by buyers today are not going to be visible until next week or even the following week, depending on the pacing that you list. All of these items could have more opportunities to sell if they were simply active now. Buyers can't buy items that they don't see. And this is the core reason why I do not teach this to anyone. This next one's a little bit weird as well. I hate to say that. It's the idea that having more watchers on your item is actually going to help your item sell. We have to consider a few factors first: the perception of the buyer and the activity that happens online, as well as the negative effects of having people watching your item that they may not buy. Recently, I got banned from yet another Facebook group for spreading these facts. I do get pushback from people who believe that the things that they are doing are working. And I saw again this group online, post 1, watch 3. And the concept is that you go through and you watch other people's items, and in exchange they come through and watch your items. The idea is that when more watchers are on the item, that eBay will somehow rank the item up or consider the item to be more valuable. The reality is, anyone who says that they believe they understand how the algorithm works at eBay is completely full of lies. No one understands how the algorithm works, and it's the same thing when it comes to Google SEO. Understanding that is a multi-million-dollar valued industry to be able to crack that type of code for sort, because you would be able to take your items and jam them straight up to the top of the list. There's a lot of factors that go into rank outside of the number of watchers on an item. However, the buying habits of consumers do vary. If I go to an item that only has one left and there's 50 people watching the item, I'm put into a position of, if I want this item, I must pay this price or someone else may get it. But at the same time, if the item was simply priced correctly, go watch my other video. If it is priced correctly, the item would have sold on its own by now, without the need of having copious watchers on the item. On top of that, we are going to be talking about SIO, seller-initiated offers. It's important that you understand how this new feature on eBay works and how using the watch 3, list 1, whatever you want to call it, using this method will destroy your ability to use SIO moving forward, as you will be targeting people who have no interest in purchasing your items online. Again, this is another one of those methods that holds that amount of water, but the negative impacts to your account will be greater than any level of benefit that you could possibly gain by having more people who don't want to buy your item watching them. And again, be mindful, if this was something that worked, there would be organizations and teams and companies set up to go through and send 100 watchers to each one of your items. It won't even be that logistically difficult to do. I could code the entire thing in a matter of a few hours to where I could punch in your username, send 100 bots through, have them watch every single one of your items. If it was that easy, everyone's store would be sold out like that. There's a lot of things that you can do to boost your sales online, and unfortunately not enough trainers are actually talking about them. Today I am going to do a basic step through on the things that you can do. Each single item that I talk about today will receive its own video down the line. If you are curious and you want more information on a specific one, I strongly encourage you to join my group, and I also welcome you to come to my live show that I do every Sunday at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. If you jump in there, you can ask any questions you want, and just as well as subscribing to this channel, it's completely free. I would love to have you stop on by, but without further ado, let's talk about the key things that you can do right now to increase your sales online. The first one we're going to talk about today is seller-initiated offers. Basically what that means is there's an algorithm that eBay has on the back end that takes an aggregate of not only your watchers, your views, the length of time the item has been online, as well as a handful of other undisclosed factors, and it allows you to send offers directly to the people who are watching your items online. This is a fantastic tool that no one is talking about using. Look into your dashboard, look into your back end for items that are eligible. Coming soon on the Seller Hub, you will be able to sort by items that have this functionality. And if you're watching this video a little bit later, it's probably already on your back end. Look into SIO. It can make you a lot of money. Now, we talked about a few things that are going to be completely free to do to your store, but there's a couple of things you can do that can actually increase your sales if you're willing to give just a little bit. One of them, it's promoted listings. And I know that eBay is getting a lot of flack for having this functionality. It basically creates an uneven playing field for those who are looking to play ball and give eBay a little bit of extra money for showcasing their items a little more often. This means showcasing them on the sidebar, showcasing them on the carousel at the bottom of the screen, even placing them within Facebook ads for people who have already seen your items online. This promoted listings has a range where you can pay anywhere between 1% and 100% of the final sale value of the item. Now, I have seen some people say that you should use the trending average. And to them I say, why? Why should we use that number? There is no evidence to support that using a higher number will actually be more beneficial than using a lower number. So I say to you, use 1%. Why? Because you're guaranteed additional exposure for your item for the small price of 1%. Within search, if somebody is searching for your item, especially if you deal in a lot of niche items where there may only be a handful of listings available, if you are a part of that group of people who has promoted listings on, guess what? You're going to show up twice in that search. You're also going to show up on the sidebar from time to time as well for people who are watching your type of items. Using 1% on promoted is a fantastic way to increase your sales, and with enough items online, you will actually be able to see the numbers come through. Can I sit here and say that it's a guaranteed sale booster? No. But can I say that it doesn't hurt to have 1% because you only pay for it if an item sells? Yeah, that's really the way to go about it. One of the other things that cost a little bit of money, running a sale online. Now, before you go and run that sale all willy-nilly and just pick a random percentage, what you need to do first is you need to make sure that your items are priced correctly. And if you don't know what I mean by that, you have to go back and watch my last video. If you don't price your items correctly, it's no different than applying a bandage to a 6-inch long wound. Okay? It's going to do a little bit, but it's obviously not the right way to go about it. Going through and repricing your items and making sure that they are competitive within the market is like adding the stitches to the wound first and then going ahead and slapping a band-aid on. And this wound we're talking about, it slows sales. And our goal today, the whole point of this entire video is to boost those sales. Now, what I do personally that I found has worked great for me is that after an item's been on eBay for maybe 6 months, maybe even a year, I've given it an opportunity for it to sell at full price. No one's biting. Now remember though, sales are completely optional, and some people will say, ride it out till the end of time, and if it sells, it sells, and if it doesn't, it doesn't, and they are fine with that. And I'll be frank, I've done that on quite a few items as well, and I've seen some items sell for hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. But at a certain point, I have to ask myself, how much am I willing to pay to leave this online? Each item is roughly costing anywhere between $3 to $5 per year to sit online, and after 5 years, you're looking at about $25 in fees so far. On top of that, that item is taking up space on your shelf. Like I said though, I can go at great length on every single one of these topics, but I recommend doing a 5% sale first, and then about 30 days later taking those same items, doing 10%, 30 days later, same items, 15%, and you go as far as you're comfortable going with your own inventory to be able to get some of those items out the door. Now, as I said though, it is not necessary, and again, we cannot concretely prove that this method will guarantee an increase in sales, but what we can say is that the habituated consumer does enjoy getting discounts on items, and if you present them with an opportunity to get a discounted item, if they are a watcher on that item, eBay may actually serve them an email and let them know the item that they are watching is on sale, which can increase sales overall for your store. Now, when we talk about SEO, we're talking about search engine optimization. And what that basically means in the world of e-commerce is how are your items ranking? And I've also heard people talking about items getting buried, and some people going as far as saying items are simply not displaying and eBay isn't showing them to people. I want to start out by saying there is no merit to the claim that eBay does not want to show your items. If eBay doesn't like one of your items, they'll pull it from the site. It's actually in the terms of service. If an item has been on eBay for over a year with no sales traction and low views, they can pull it without even asking you. They want people to buy your items on the site because they only make about this much money when you list an item, and they get the rest of it when it actually sells. It is their job to sell as much of your inventory as possible. Now, obviously, we talked about promotions, we talked about sales, so there's a lot more dynamics to it, but right now we're talking about SEO. How can you increase the rank of your items? So, as I said before, no one is a guru at this. We can only use conjecture to try and better understand how this works. One of the things that has been speculated as far as what eBay or Google as a whole likes is quality photos. High-resolution photos with a clean white backdrop are the types of images that Google likes serving up to customers. Now, I mentioned Google because 40% of my sales on eBay come from Google. People typing in what they're looking to buy, clicking on the shopping tab, finding my eBay listing, and then boom, coming across and converting and making the purchase. It's just that easy. So we're talking about clean photos. We're talking about accurate titles. Do not stuff your titles with keywords. It does not help. Okay, we call this keyword stuffing. And again, I will make a dedicated video for this. Keep your titles clean and concise. What is the item? What is the brand? What makes this item unique? It could be color, form, shape, size, etc. Leave it everything that it needs to find. And when people are able to find your listings more and more visitors come to that listing, Google will value that page higher. Google will see hundreds, if not thousands of people are coming to this page. This page must be close to what people are looking for, and in turn, it will rank up higher within Google. On top of that, go through and make sure your listings don't have typos, spelling errors, or things that could cause customers to not be able to find your listings. And if you need to, consider using keywords that are friendly with keywords that are the category that you are working in. So let's say, for instance, you are selling candles. Okay, the word votive is a word that's used in association with candles often. You can consider adding that somewhere within the context of your description. Maybe not necessarily in the title, because we don't want to dissuade anyone. But if an item has functionality, that should be included somewhere within the listing to try and draw a captive audience from a similar category to come across. This again is another topic I could spend probably a solid hour talking on, and I would recommend you do your own independent research on it, as well as come back and ask questions when you have them. Another thing that you can do to increase your sales is understanding the market. And I know that sounds a little bit heavy to take on board, but if you're dealing in an item or category that no one really wants, you can't expect your sales to be great. And the reason I say that is that I've seen some stores that have some stuff that I don't think I would ever buy, and I don't know anyone who would buy those items either. And when I'm sent to go review those stores, I have to break the hard news that a lot of it is unfortunately thrift store tat that I don't think anyone is going to want. So what are some of the categories that people are going after? Cell phones is one of the biggest ones. Video games, consumer electronics, even brand new releases on books, movies, media, etc. Understanding where the market is at today, making your purchases to reflect that, and then getting them listed online is one of the best ways to increase your sell-through online. Making sure you have quality items. And the last two bits that I want to leave you with, which again require their own entire video, offer free shipping on your listings. I'll break it down for you, or I already broke it down for you in my pricing video. Free shipping is one of the best methods to increase your sales, and you can offer free shipping without losing any money. And if that sounds wacky, again, you must watch my other videos. I would actually personally recommend that if you are a serious seller and you're interested in becoming very good at this, you go back through and you watch my entire catalog. Maybe not all my Sunday shows are a little long-winded, but they're great content to put on in the background while you're doing your listing. You can sit there and get smarter while you're working. Even myself, you can see all the editing that we are doing from this video. I am 100% self-taught from the internet. You have the opportunity right now to use that same internet to become a better seller. Do not waste this opportunity to increase your revenue. It might not just be for you, it might be for your partner, it might be for your family. The amount of time you put into getting good at this will be a direct correlation of the results you get out on the back end. Forgive my motivational tangent, it's something that I do on my show. The last thing I want to bring up is fast handling. If someone can get their item delivered out in one day, same day, 2 days, they are going to be more inclined to buy the item. And guess what? eBay actually ranks those listings higher based on where the buyer lives. If eBay can ensure that the experience is going to be a smooth one, and the seller has a combination of both good feedback, they are close to the consumer, and they have the exact item they want, eBay will use this information to run the listing higher up. Well, guys, did I tell you something that you didn't know today, or did I just simply rattle off all the details you already did? This has been one of my most requested videos since I started on YouTube a couple of years ago. And if you enjoyed this content, guys, I'm going to ask you for a few favors. One, click the subscribe button. It's completely free. If you don't have a Gmail account, make a Gmail account. It takes 30 seconds. You can subscribe to my channel. It would really help me out with what I'm doing. It allows other people, through the power of SEO, to be served my video content so that they too can become smarter because of this video. Also, liking the video does the same thing, and the best thing you can do, if you enjoy the free exchange of intelligent information and powerful discourse to help improve your online presence and your e-commerce sell-through, let somebody know about what we're doing, and even consider checking out the links down below where you can join our Patreon, be a part of a fantastic community of educated sellers who talk to each other 24 hours a day to ensure that we have some of the best stores online. Come check us out. We'd love to have you. And remember, if you don't make that money, someone else will. Have a great day. Man, that was a heck of a video, huh? Looked like everything worked perfectly fine the first time through. No glitches or anything whatsoever. Thank you so much, guys, for re-watching that. Our show is still continuing on if you're visiting us here for the first time. That was a pre-recorded video, and that video will be available on Wednesday at probably release it early. I don't even think I'm going to wait till noon to get that released. But yeah, that will be available. Let me fix this chat. I don't know what's going on with our chat API. I'm going to get that sorted out here soon. It's difficult to test because I can only test it while we're live. So I don't know what's causing it to lag out like that. But as I was saying, we're going to release it on Wednesday, so that way you guys can enjoy it. Yeah, it'll be a good one. What is going on with it? I have no clue. Let me try doing one more thing really quick, and then we'll resume our show as normal. Okay, let's try this. Let's try this. And if it's busted, it may just stay busted. There's not much else that I can do. Tammy White says, wonderful video. You put a lot of work into it. Thank you. You are very welcome, Tammy. Thank you, Donna, for the compliments as well. And thank you, everyone who took the time to watch and enjoy that content. It's very, very nice of you. Let me try putting my own comment down and seeing if that helps. I've got another window here. Comment. See if that helps push the bar along a little bit. But yeah, I don't know why I get that little blue arrow down there or what it means. Also, guys, if you haven't done so yet, just do me a solid. Click that like button. It does definitely help us out with what we're doing. We're going to go ahead and leave the chat disabled on screen for just a little bit. We're going to go ahead and move into our news. Maybe, look we fixed it over here. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe when it's loaded up in more than one at a time. Oh, you know what? Before we get into this story, I'm sorry. We had a question come in. It came in, worst keyboard ever. We had a question come in during the video in regards to following up on something that was sent to me earlier on my personal timeline. If you're not part of our Facebook group, I really do recommend you come check us out as well. There's a link down in the description, and Pam will probably be able to drop it up in the comments too, to where you're going to be able to reach out to me directly if you want outside of the show as well. Blue arrow scroll down. Yeah, the thing is, it's within OBS, so I can't physically click the browser source it's pulling from. But I think turning it off, turning it back on does help. So someone had asked me about search and asked if I could even forward along comments to eBay, which I will, regarding how search works. And I see people do search incorrectly all of the time. I had a former roommate who was an eBay seller as well. Not that roommate, different roommate. Small world, I know. And he would overcomplicate his searches. He would have an item, and it would be something like this, okay? Now, when I look this up, there's not a whole lot to it. What would be your search for this? This is what I tell people all the time. Like, what is your search for this? Okay, for me, Swiffer, Wetjet, wood. Maybe wood formula, but Swiffer, Wetjet, wood. Those are the keywords that I need to be able to look this up. Now, if I overcomplicate my search, Swiffer, Wetjet, 32 ounce, 2-pack, new, all of those words have to be within the search for me to get an accurate match on the item. If you search incorrectly right off of the bat, when you try and find your comps, you're going to be seeing only the comps that use all the keywords that you've put into the search, but you're not going to be seeing the ones that don't have all of those keywords in there. So you want to keep it as simple as possible to try and find your product so that way you can comp correctly. Now, obviously, when you're going to list, if you see a title that is missing almost all of the keywords, you may not want to comp off of that listing. So when it comes to usage of words like the, which I was asked about, the word the is no different than the word movie, no different than the word game. It carries the same amount of weight within search, which is somewhat unfortunate. So if you have something where the is an integral part of the title, the Princess Bride, for instance, the Frog Princess, whatever it might be, if the is an integral part of the title, then you're going to want to use the within your search. But if you have a product where the is not an integral part of it, do not use it in your search, or you will be omitting all the ones that also don't use, or excuse me, you will be, omitting all the ones who don't use it because of the way that search happens. Also be mindful of this when you're creating your listings. You want to make sure that you have the mentality of the consumer in mind when you're creating your title. See, when I'm making my title for this, I will use Swiffer, WetJet, Quick Dry, Wood Formula, 2-pack, 2X, 32 ounce, OZ, OUNCES, new, sealed. I will use all of those words so that way I can cover all of my bases when someone's actually searching for that type of product, and I won't be excluded for the person who is going over the top on search. And we're actually going to be looking at an item a little bit later today that I receive about, I don't know, maybe about 50 to 80% more on than my competitors who aren't using all the necessary keywords for success on that product. So it's going to be really interesting to see. And I hope that answers your question, Amy. Hope that kind of covers all the bases. We do plan on doing an extended training video for that. Sean Herrick with Prairie Grit also released a video that talks about the importance of keywords, headers, footers, keyword stuffing. He covered a whole lot of stuff. It's not a highly edited video, but the content within the video is absolutely rock solid. While we're on that as well, talking about other brands, I also want to give a thank you to our sponsor, Honey, this week. Use Honey as a browser extension on any browser that you're on, and you are going to save money whenever you make any purchases online. It's completely free to install. It costs absolutely nothing at no point in time. And if you go online, even if you buy from eBay, you get an extra 1% back on your eBay purchases. So you get your eBay bucks, you get your Honey bucks as well, and then you can even trade those in for gift cards. You can even trade them back in for eBay gift cards as well and go buy more stuff. You also get discounts on hotels as well, which are deeper than the discounts that you can get through traditional hotel sites. It's kind of nice. Visit bit.ly/cheapbrowse to install it. And guys, we have a very, very interesting, very cool little deal coming next week to the show, where you are going to be able to receive $20 by getting set up with a new PayPal card. And you'll be able to help me and help support the show. So if you want $20 for free next week, make sure you tune into the show. We're going to show you how to do that. And then in 2 months' time, we're going to be giving away or giving access to $10 in eBay bucks or eBay credit for anyone who wants it as well. So definitely stay part of the program. What was the name again? Which name? Oh, Sean Herrick with Prairie Grit. Prair. Pam, go ahead and throw a link in the description for me, or throw it into the sidebar. But yes, Prairie Grit, the Sean Herrick, the owner of that company, did produce a video on the topic. He is super accessible as well, too. You can reach out to him on Facebook and say, hey, I saw the show, I'm interested in getting it. He also has a YouTube channel, too, worth checking out. So, guys, we're going to jump into the news, and then I don't want to stay on the news too long. I'd like to get to the items. I'd like to move on to story time. So we're going to get across to it pretty quick. Guys, we got some crazy weather coming here to California. We have some atmospheric river activity happening here in California. Now, if you don't live in California, you're probably thinking, Jay, why the heck does this matter to me? Do you find yourself in situations maybe a couple of times a year where you're not able to go sourcing because the weather is just too darn bad outside? Is it snowing? Do you get snowed in? Are you just unable to go to thrift stores? Are yard sales not working for you? Well, this is what's going to be happening for a lot of California resellers, and it's something that may affect you as we get into storm season, which, could be pretty much any time because it's flipping America and we get weird weather year round. But yeah, basically we have this atmospheric river, which is nuts because it's basically as much water vapor in the air. It's more than any terrestrial river that we have here on Earth is right above California right now. It's a ton of water. They're saying it could last up to 2 months. Okay, 2 months worth of this crazy, crazy rain. We even had a town called Venado down south that its record day before was 1 inch of rain, 1.08, and they received 5 inches of rain the other day in a single day, and it's just devastating. It's crazy the amount of damage 5 inches of rain will do to a town that's never had to deal with it before. So I wanted to talk with you about a few things. One, we produced a video on the topic of how to run ads locally to be able to target the items that you want. Not only did we talk about the fundamental importance of it, but I also showed step-by-step how to make your own ads that you can run online that will look better than all of your competitors' ads. I want to touch on something too, guys, okay? I got some hate yesterday. I want to explain something. I am not here for me. I think there's some confusion. Some people think I really like hearing myself talk. I am here for you. I am here to make sure that you make money. If you make money, guess what? I make money too. Because when you're successful, you say, man, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go help that guy that helped me be successful. And I've been getting some fantastic letters lately. Some of the nicest people ever have been reaching out to me and saying, like, I had somebody yesterday say, like, my business is a business because of you. And last night I got somebody, or even this morning I got somebody who said that they felt a real strong impact on my final thoughts from yesterday, which we are really going to expand upon today. But if you haven't seen it, please go watch that video. I guarantee you it's going to make you a ton of money. My visual ads accounted for over $20,000 worth of additional revenue for me last year. $20,000 in revenue because of my quality ads. And we're also going to be talking about automation of your ads too, coming down the line. We're working on an affiliate deal with another company to be able to offer automation at a very, very cheap price. And having something automated is almost as good as having a personal assistant assist you with the process of your day-to-day ops. Hello to you, Kiki Mom. Thank you for joining us in the chat. On top of that, guys, if you aren't running ads online, I strongly encourage you to start looking at marketplace to marketplace type transactions to where you can actually snipe or pick up items, especially at auction, off of eBay and move them straight across to Amazon. Or you can find items available at Walmart's, for instance. A lot of people are using the BrickSeek app to be able to find heavily discounted items and then simply moving them online. Or you can even go as far as with that shaver that I was talking about earlier. Right now, that shaver online is about $175. New, shipped, everything. Big shebang. I can get one from Walmart after mail and rebate for about $133. Now, I know the margins aren't huge on that deal, but there's a profit there, and there's money to be made, and that money can be made without leaving the house. But the best way of generating that revenue is just simply to have people come to you. Okay, so that's one thing that you can do. And the biggest thing that you can do when you're having issues with weather is you can work through that back stock. And hopefully your death pile isn't too big, but we're also talking about things that need to be repaired, things that need to be tested, as well as going through your house and pulling down stuff that you're never going to use and getting that stuff listed online too. And that's probably going to be our next big video. I'm going to be doing a walkthrough of my house, and I'm going to show you like stupid stuff. Like, here's a great example. So this is the gear that we use to handle all of our audio here. So this cable that comes out of this mic runs to the side of this XLR. And I was looking at this box the other day, and I was thinking to I hadn't really paid much attention to it. I pulled it all out, got it listed. You know what I saw on top? Look at that. There's 2 pieces of software that come included with this box. I looked up the software. That's about $20 or $30 worth of software, and it's just sitting in here, the digital codes. I have no need to use this software whatsoever. And on top of that, we also have an extra mic accessory. I'm probably going to never use this because of the additional gear that I got, and I've already got another mic up there, or I can even switch out that other mic for this mic and sell the other one. These extra heads are like $30 or $40, okay? That's just bonus money that I can get back on this purchase. So we're going to be talking about that, about different ways that you can pull money out of your house, some creative ways of making additional revenue that you might not be thinking about. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting video, but I just wanted to get everyone mindful of that when we talk about bad weather. So we talked about this. Etsy wants to talk to you about not just buying the cushion, but also buying the couch. And it was very interesting how he talked about this, the habits of consumers, about how we like to go to websites like Etsy and eBay, and we do our search, and they said that 80% of their transactions happen on the first page of search within Etsy. Now, each page of search brings up about 50 items on the site, and they've learned that if we pitch them the right priced item for each individual consumer, we can greatly increase our sell-through rate. And they say that as of right now, that the average consumer has a preference towards lower priced items. And in a quote from Etsy CEO Josh Silverman, he said, "Our search engines have historically used conversion rate as its objective function." So conversion rate being the rate at which people are buying after seeing items, and objective function being the causality or the effect of what they're doing. Meaning when you type in a search query, it's trying to show you the top 50 things that it thinks you are most likely to buy. There's an inherent bias towards low-priced items then because you are more likely to buy a $20 item opposed to a $200 item. So if you were to use GMS, or gross merchandise sales, similar to GMV when we talk about eBay, as the objective function instead of conversion rate, you might buy fewer things but of higher value, resulting in a higher GMS. We talk about this as the cushion to couch strategy inside the company. People right now buy cushions. How do we get them to buy couches? How do we get them to make that gap? But also, there's actually some inherent bias built into our search engine algorithms driving them towards lower priced items, which makes, honest to God, it makes a ton of sense that they would want to do that, because they don't want to risk a consumer not making any purchase at all and possibly going elsewhere to spend those dollars. Each consumer really only has a finite number of spending dollars, and each company is fighting vehemently to try and get those consumers to the site and then do everything in their power to buy something. It's the same reason why when you do a search on eBay and you're looking for specific items, you're going to find a bunch of cheap stuff from China, because those items have incredible sell-through comparative to some of their counterparts, the quality stuff, the stuff that's more towards the couch end of things on the site. So, could alterations within search genuinely benefit the company? Could they go with a strategy and say, hey, we're going to go ahead and take some short-term losses right now in the here and now, but we can hope that these changes that we make will ultimately result in a higher sell-through and a higher conversion here on the site. So I think it's interesting. I think it's definitely an interesting discussion to have. So what else do we got going on for today? We got one more bit of story, guys. I wanted to talk with you about the innovations that Amazon's doing right now. We got a little chart there in the corner, right there. And that chart up there shows the importance of the customer to Amazon. It basically reflects the frequency at which they've used the word customer within their shareholder letters. The customer first model is truly amazing comparative to how other CEOs with other brands talk about their thoughts and feeling about consumers. When eBay talks about them, they talk about them about buyers, and they talk about them in a very raw shareholder type of way, another unit, another user, another conversion. They don't ever use the word customer, but if we look at Amazon, they do it all the flipping time. And we're talking about some of the big changes that Amazon's doing. And somebody had asked me earlier, they said, Jay, do you do FBA? I 100% do FBA. I think that anyone who is a seasoned eBay seller who has the system down, they understand how to source, they understand how to ship, they understand how to do customer relations, they have a firm grasp on how the back end works. They know how to look at their invoices, they know how to look at their metrics, they know how to handle stuff within the resolution center. You're ready for Amazon. Okay, you're ready to put on your big boy pants and go to Amazon. If you haven't gone to Amazon and you've been a serious reseller for at least a year, and I'm saying serious, like you've been doing this, you give it more than 20 hours a week, it's maybe becoming a very serious side hustle or your primary source of income, you need to start planning for Amazon. You need to start making that jump to get across. If you haven't done so, we can dedicate some time to talking about the process of doing that maybe next week's show. Amazon is the future of successful e-commerce for any reseller out there. Pat says, I don't know if I could sell the $20,000 used spectrometer on Amazon. Certain restrictions when it comes to pharmaceutical goods, but there's always going to be a market for eBay. That's important to understand. Amazon is not in any way, shape, or form a replacement for eBay. It's a supplement to your e-commerce business. I use Amazon, eBay, and Prairie Grit. Those are the three sites that I use. Each site has a purpose. Each site has a place. I know people who also use Etsy, Posh, Mercari, Ruby Lane, and they have a local store. They have a spot within a mall or antique mall. Each one of those has pros and cons. All of them, including Amazon. Amazon has some serious cons. eBay has some serious pros. It goes back and forth. But you should consider the power of Amazon. And I know there's a lot of people who simply don't do it because they're afraid of taking that jump. And I'm not saying you are, Pat, and I'm not saying anyone who hasn't, that's your reasoning why. But getting on Amazon is going to be a mandatory thing for most people moving forward to be able to stay successful within e-commerce. I don't feel that eBay alone will be enough for a good chunk of resellers unless you have seriously streamlined your process of sourcing and sell through and you have all your ducks in a row already. Most people, the average everyday resellers, people like myself, I'm nobody special. I don't have manufacturer contracts, wholesaler deals. I go out and I get my items from yard sales, thrift stores, trade shows, manually source everything online as well. If you're an everyday reseller, you have to start getting it in your head that you will eventually need to make the jump over to Amazon. But obviously, if you have a special thing going on, you have greater reach, greater ability, and you can get by just using eBay, that's fine. I do feel you are leaving money on the table because we're going to look at some items today that are worth absurd amounts of money on Amazon and have guaranteed sell-through that don't fetch nearly the same amount on eBay. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Amazon pays for itself. That's in Common Sin. Kiki says, started as an Amazon seller last year. I hope you did eBay first. FBA last January. I like having the option because I do not have to store the inventory at my small place. So far, it's going great. That's awesome. And that's one of the huge pros. Make sure, if nobody's told you yet, turn off co-mingling. It's very, very important, and not enough people mention that. Lee James says, I let my Amazon account go inactive back in 2008, had all positive feedback, but they removed my seller account. Just reach out to them. They'll let you get back on again as long as you didn't do anything wrong. And Pat says he strictly sells on eBay and Prairie Grit. Yeah, they like I said, all the sites have their pros. Some sites have cons. And here's the thing, guys. We were talking about Amazon. The amount of innovation they're doing is really positioning them for success. Being a part of the Amazon ecosystem is going to be very, very valuable moving forward. They got new deals for Prime members. They're doing this thing where if you go to their Whole Foods grocery stores, you can get crazy deals. They're creating stronger infrastructure for their warehouses. Their hazardous warehouses are getting built out because they've had incidents managing this type of inventory, and they said, okay, we got to fix it. We got to repair it from the ground up. They're working on investing into internet satellites. They want to provide worldwide internet to everyone via satellite. And I'll tell you, if it's faster than what I got right now, I'll switch in a hurry. I've got no problems with that at all. They're investing heavily into self-driving cars, and they invested into a company called Deliveroo, which is like a meal hub, Uber Eats. It's another one of those types of companies. The amount of money that they're throwing out on innovation and mergers and acquisition is nuts. And I think... And here's the thing, I get it, guys. Some people just don't like Amazon. My personal opinion is I think it would be foolish to move forward without considering working within that business model. And if you don't like Amazon, I can't hold that against you. But I look at Amazon as a personal assistant. I scan in all my items, I box them up, I send them to the warehouse, and forget about them. And then they do all the work for me. And when something sells, I get my money. They just send me my check, and I'm pleased. The metaphorical check. Pat says, I source on a particular site for about 90% of my inventory. I only buy things that are 5 to 6x return. Very few things under $100 on my store. And that type of model can be absolutely fantastic. And remember too, guys, factorial margins, your X multiplier margins is important, but don't feel like you can't make a ton of money on smalls. I'm sure Joe is somewhere in the audience right now. He's flipping these fans out, okay? And he bought them for like $1 each, and he's been getting $10 a pop for them. But the boy must have sold like 100 of them, maybe 200 of them over the last month and a half. It doesn't seem like much, but 100, at $5 a pop, profit margin, it really, really adds up very, very fast. Now, of course, would I like to make that same amount of money in 2 or 3 items? Of course I would, of course. But I'm not going to turn away money from smalls. So, guys, that's all the news. That's all of it. So we're going to take a look at some of the pickups that I got this week. Guys, we got some cool stuff, some of which you've seen. And surprise, surprise, we got some of which you haven't. We got some new stuff. I went sourcing today. I got a couple of packages here first. I want to open up my packages. I waited till I got on air because there's one thing here that you guys might not even know is a thing that exists. So I wanted to share it with you because I feel it's going to benefit me as a reseller, okay? How many times have you been going to work on a project and you realized you need to test something, but you don't have the right batteries? Okay, I went to the store the other day, and I needed C batteries. And C batteries were prohibitively expensive at the store I went to. I think it was $11 for 4 C batteries. Don't mind me. I'm looking for some I could have sworn I left them here on the desk. How? How? Oh, there they are. There they are. Okay, so I picked these up. Have you guys seen these before? I ordered these off the internet. I got 4 of these bad boys, I think for $1.07. And if I understand the idea correctly, okay, it is a battery converter. Have you ever heard of such a thing? It sounds like voodoo magic. Let me make sure this bad boy fits. That's about right. Look at that. So you snug your AA battery inside of there, and it does the exact same thing as a C battery. And this just means that I have less nonsense here at the house that I don't want to deal with, and I don't want to go out and spend $12 on C batteries anytime that I might need them. This is a fantastic little bit of tech to have. And I got a 4-pack of these things. I think it was $1.07 or $1.27 shipped to the house. Yeah, great little thing to add to your arsenal of stuff. Pam says, nope, great idea. Hope it works. Yeah, it's definitely going to work. Yeah, the batteries are essentially the same. And they have converters up to Ds, AAAs as well. Pat says, goals, that's just the way it is. I've been sourcing on this site for quite a while, almost 4 years. I don't have all the answers, but I only source from my office. And that's fantastic for you. Not everyone is able to do that. And obviously, I don't expect you to give up your source. But you can even source from eBay. We've talked about this before, about the power of sourcing directly from eBay. You guys watched one night, I did my off the grid special. There we go. It's actually fit and clicked into place now. But we did the off the grid special one night where I showed me sourcing directly off of eBay and then flipping those same things back out. We were looking for junk sale lots, junk drawer lots, miscellaneous lots, stuff to that effect, yard sale lots on eBay, scooping those up and getting them out the door. Amy says, that's cool. Never seen those. I buy batteries at the dollar store. Yeah, I'm new to town here. I don't even know where the dollar store is nearby me, but it's one of those, it's a permanent solution for me. And then I got this as well. Make sure my address isn't shown. In an Amazon package. Oh, it looks like it might just be a tape job. This is another thing, guys. I want to talk about this. Okay. We talked about packaging theater before on my channel, and if you haven't seen that video, please go watch it. Make your packages look good. Don't be stupid. Don't do what this person did here, okay? I even have to be careful of it too because we have a doggo that runs around the house. You see this right here? That's hair under the tape. Don't be the person that puts hair or allows hair to get under the tape on your item. It's gross, guys. Don't do that. Okay? So you're probably wondering, Jay, what do you got inside of there? You know, I was really excited about this item, and now there's a small chance that it might be counterfeit. I'm going to have my buddy look at it, just because of the way this thing is packaged. It kind of has me a little bit leery. This is a Shure Beta 58A, and this is it's a super cardioid microphone, and the goal of this is to be able to enhance the eBay Open experience, to be able to interview people on the spot and hand them a mic. So if you watch that video that we just aired, just a little bit ago, you will notice that there were some audio cracks when I was moving the microphone around. It was very unfortunate, and I can't edit those out. There's nothing I can do about it. And it has to do with the fact that I was using this cardio. Well, it's a dynamic cardioid. I don't know. I'm going to have to research it more. But I was using a mic that wasn't very good with movement, so I ended up picking up this new one. And it's a really nice mic. There's a chance that this might be counterfeit, though. Just from the looks of it, I'm getting a little bit of unease. And this is a heavily counterfeited item as well. But I'm getting a little bit of unease here. I'm going to have to send over some images to my buddy. It's also not new either. Yeah, I can't stand when people lie in their listings. So I bought this as supposedly brand new. And you can see that there's some little bit of damage and debris on the outer ring of this microphone. It's unfortunate. It's a real pain buying tech on eBay. This is about the 3rd time in a row now that I've had a poor experience buying something very expensive and very important to the business that was incorrect or improper. And this is why eBay is losing market share right now. It's so unfortunate. I don't know if you guys have that issue too when you buy stuff off the site. Really, real shame. I will have to resolve this later. I'm not going to bore you guys with the details right now on air. But those are some of the items that I got. I think we're going to go ahead and start out by showcasing some of the items that I got today, and then we'll look at some of the items that I picked up over the week. We'll finish up with some of the items I got today, and then we'll wrap up the show for tonight. It's unfortunate that God, what is wrong with people? What is the point of selling something and then claiming that it's new and then not actually sending a new item out? And I don't know if I'm being too particular, but I just got that feeling. Brandy says, probably been returned repeatedly and was new a few sales ago. So sad. You know what? That might be the case. That's really unfortunate if that's the scenario with that. Or somebody had it, maybe it was a floor model open box, but we have settings for that now on eBay where you can mark something as open box. Pat says, that's my only warranty on eBay. I guarantee that the part number is correct and the description of the item is as is, otherwise no further warranty. If you're selling and you have your item condition described correctly, then you can totally get away with that. But you cannot mark an item as new as well as is, because new must mean new without any gray areas. And that's pretty much consistent across all platforms. So guys, today I went to Salvation Army because why? I wanted to make sure I had some fresh items for you. We're doing this reshoot today. Had some complications yesterday. Wanted to make sure I had some new, exciting, interesting stuff to show you so I could justify you sticking around for the reshoot this time. And it was an interesting experience. Normally when I go to the Salvation Army here, it's been disgustingly bad. Like really bad. And I don't know if it was the time that I went or the day that I went, but I guarantee you I will be back there next week at 3 o'clock on a Monday as they start pulling items out and placing them on the shelf. So, as soon as I walked in, I walked to the back section where they have all their bric-a-brac. First item I see on the shelf is a nice little lovely 25 pack of Staples diskettes. If you guys aren't buying these, when you see them new, you're leaving money on the table. Now, the colored ones, the Colormation ones are worth a lot more. And if you get one of the big boxes, they go for about $200. I've sold one before on Amazon. These ones right here, this is $25 on Amazon. And it consistently sells too. It's got a very good rank on Amazon. You will sell this. You will make money on this item. Yeah, absolutely fantastic pickup. I paid $3.99 for this. Didn't want to spend that much. But a profit is a profit nonetheless, unless of course it's a false profit. But this profit is free money right in my pocket. I don't know if you guys have ever dealt in diskettes before, but they're great. And then I was walking down, going around the corner, and it was really impressive. I'm gonna show you all the items in the order that I got them, because it was just, I don't know. It was a little shocking to me that I even came across this one next. Most people have seen this item. Most people know this BOLO. I have never, ever seen this item new. Ever. Okay? A molecular model set for organic chemistry. Now, you may recognize it from the side. It's a very distinctive grayish color on these. They start turning a yellowish tan if they've been left out in the sun too long. This is definitely a BOLO. A used one of these, complete, can fetch about $30+. Incomplete can fetch closer to 15 to 20 depending on the amount of components you have. Brand new like this on Amazon with fantastic sell-through, you're looking at an $80 bill. $80 for this bad boy. Now, when I saw it, it was marked at $8. I paid $3.99, and I'll explain why here in a bit. But this is oh my God, great pickup. One of the last things that I would have expected to see on the shelf while I was there. I'm going to leave this up here so I remember to talk about it a little bit more. I walk one more spot over. And I always tell people, if you see something odd, You must stop and look it up. Don't be foolish. Just because it's not within your wheelhouse and maybe you don't deal in clothes, maybe you don't deal in shoes, you don't like certain types of bric-a-brac, you don't like glass. I get it. We're not strong in everything. But you can recognize when something's a little bit different, a little bit odd, okay? It's not just mirrored on your end, it's mirrored on my end as well. Let me see if I can... Yeah, it's weird, okay? This is... Oh, there we go. Okay. George Archer's Putting Doctor Bullet. And this piece extends upward like this. And I believe you mount it to a wall. You do something with it, okay? And you putt towards it. And it's supposed to improve your putt game. It's supposed to make it much better. Now, the complete set comes with a little carry bag, which isn't really necessary. Oh, this actually... Oh, even better. This folds down. It's going to be much easier to ship. I saw a set that had the putting bag and a simple piece of paper explaining how to use it, and there was a really clean photo of that, so I'm going to be able to use that, probably that exact same photo, and be able to make a printout to be able to help this item sell through. The one that sold on eBay sold for about $60. $60. I got up to the cash register. This didn't have a price tag on it. And you guys know how much of a death blow that is. Have you ever brought something up to the cash register and they said, oh, if it doesn't have a price tag on it, we're going to have to take it to the back. No, I understand you want to buy it today, but we're going to take it. We're going to put it behind those doors. And even though we have, 15 employees back there, you're going to have to come back tomorrow, maybe between 10 and 2 after we get it repriced. Don't you hate it when that happens? So I had to be very strategic about buying this. Now, my first thought was, man, I'd love to just peel a price tag off something else and slap it on here. Okay? That's the first feeling that I had. And I think we've all been there. We've all had that feeling. But I have to remember, Salvation Army, they're raising money. They're helping people. We do business with ethics. First thing I thought when I saw this for $8, man, old me, I'd love to cover this up with a cheaper price tag because they're out of their gourd asking that much on something like this. They don't know what it's worth. I know what it's worth. To them, it's just a molecular kit. But to me, it's an $80 bill. Okay? So we're going to talk about this. I walked up there, and I waited too. Okay? I looked at the first employee that was behind the counter, and I was trying to size up the person, size up the situation. I was looking at them, and I was saying, she's not going to help me. I can tell already. She's having a horrible day. She is not interested in doing anything to help me get this item. And you have to be very tactical. Very tactical. And this is what I tell people all the time, that there's a lot that you can do that people don't talk about to increase your margins and to be able to get the things that you need to happen without hurting anyone, without being a bad person. It basically falls under social engineering. I'm trying to help them get this item out the door. I don't think anyone else is going to buy it. I'm helping get money to them, and at the same time, hopefully making somebody else's day. So I look at the first person there, and I say, she's not going to help me. Not a chance in hell. No way. Okay? And I start looking around, and I see this really cute blonde girl from across the store. She's about maybe 22 years old. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, man, if I go over there and I ask her for help on this, walk over and be like, hey, you look cute. You look like you could help me. And if I phrase it just that way, catch her off guard, maybe have her smile a little bit, I might be able to social engineer a situation where they'll be able to find a price tag to be able to help me out. And I might be able to get a discount on my other item. That was the first thing I was thinking. Looking over at her, and then I continue my shopping. Okay, I'm trying to get all the stuff I need to get first, and then head on over that way. And I go back over after I'm done. She's not there. I said, okay, that's fine. I look back over at the cash register. I see they're doing a shift change. I see we got somebody new coming on. I look at the new guy. I look at the next person in line. I'm like, now this guy can help me. He can help me with this problem. He looks like he is a reasonable person that will understand the situation that I'm going through. So I walk up there with these items as well as the other ones that I have right now. And I say, hey, buddy. And, politeness right off the bat, I'm like, are you having a good day today? Yeah? Good? Awesome. Yeah, nice slow Monday. Love it. Hey, buddy, I've got a problem, okay? And I'm sure you've heard this before. Build that connection, start that rapport, make this a common thing. I'm sure you've heard this before, okay? I found an item back there. It usually, I looked it up online. It's supposed to come with a bag. And I'm assuming somebody just bought the bag without the item, because the bag is a nice bag that this thing comes with. It was an okay bag. The problem is this item doesn't have a price tag on it. And I understand that you guys have some strict policies about that. I was really hoping you could help me out with this. Maybe I could possibly just get it for a couple of bucks. And, you know, he looks at it, he's like, well, you know, and I was nice to this guy. He's like, well, I could probably do like, just like $2. That would be great. That would be fantastic. Thank you for that. And, you know, not only are we asking in a friendly way, but we need to show our appreciation when people do things for us. You know, respect and manners for people my age seems to be a lost art, but be respectful of your elders, be respectful of the people that help you, especially when it comes to doing business. I'm in a position now where I'm doing business with the person across the counter from me. It's no longer he is a person at the checkout line. He is no longer just a cashier. He is somebody that I am working with and developing a business relation with to complete a transaction. And I lean over to him too and I say, and you know what's real crazy, man? Look at the price that they're asking for on this. And I slide it across the counter. I'm like, look at the price that they're asking for on this. And he goes, oh my God. He's like, really? And remember, people will give back the energy that you give them. You give them happiness, big old smile, having a great day. They're going to start having a better day too. If you give them shock, disbelief, confusion, concern, look at this. And you give that to them. Guess what? They're going to be more inclined to give you that back. He leans over. You know what he tells me? He tells me the absolute best thing that I could hear any cashier tell me. He leans over to me. He's like, you know, the prices in this place, they're crazy. I can't believe some of the prices that they ask for in this place. And in my mind, I'm like, yes, clutch. That's exactly what I want to hear. That's what I'm talking about. Okay? That's exactly what you want to hear from the person that you're working with across the table. And yes, Brandy, I will go with you to get a card. Okay? And he's like, and I'm like, could you do me a solid on it? You know, do you think you could do, and I show him the disc, the diskettes. Do you think you could do this on that? Do you think, would that be all right with you? And I'm giving him an opportunity. I'm giving him the check. I'm giving him the opportunity to confirm a statement that already has a positive tone and it's expecting a positive result, or affirmative tone with an affirmative result. Do you think that you would be okay doing that? Would you be okay doing that? Could you help me out with that? And we all have a natural inclination to where we want to help other people. That's something that we want to do. He says, you know what? Yeah, I can do that for you. I'll help you out. And again, I truly appreciated him doing that for me. He didn't have to do that for me. Okay. Would the situation have gone that way if it wasn't a little bit of social engineering? Sure. It's definitely possible that somebody could have asked without all the fluff and without all the frills, without understanding the psychology behind exactly what was happening. Okay. There's a lot to be learned in the process of how you negotiate and how you treat people and how you work with people that you want to do business with. Being genuine and conducting business with ethics will take you very, very far. But that doesn't mean that you have to compromise your ability to negotiate and navigate through these deals with people in a different way. You can use all the tools at your disposal as long as you continue to be a good person as you do it. I promise you, the value of being a good person will always outweigh the value of a sale or a buy. Some of these comments, Donna Cherry got is that pronounced with the Y? Yardo elephant at the Restore worth $275 for $10. You got to post that up on the group. I'd love to see that. Cashiers deal with a lot of people. Don't be a snot to them and you will get great returns. It's true. It's very true. Be good to people. They will give it right back to you. And that's the thing. That's why we're here, guys. Iron sharpening iron. I want to see everyone succeed. I wanted to make sure I came back and I had some good stories for you today, too. I also got a football. We got any Texans fans in the house? You can leave. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I don't even watch sports myself. I picked up this Texans. This is a nice ball, okay? This is a 2002 inaugural Texans ball. They only made 25,000 of these, believe it or not. It's a really nice ball, high quality build. Cheapest ones available right now on eBay are about $60. The only ones that have sell-through had 1 or 2 autographs on them. I don't think I'm going to absolutely crush it on this. I paid $4 for it. I'll probably list it at the $49.99 price point. Be willing to take an offer as low as $20 on it. A profit is a profit. I'll be happy to have it go through. Big Bison says, Texans, if you're interested in this bad boy, send me a DM after the show. I'll be happy to work with you on it. Didn't know you could haggle at the Salvation Army, and it's not really haggling. That was social engineering, and there's a big difference between the two. You know, just because you walk into a place that says fixed prices, and I've even had Daniel do that to me before, where he'll say, you know, there's booths at the swap meet that all they have is brand new stuff. And he'll say, you're not supposed to haggle here. You're not supposed to negotiate here. Bull. I'm like, I'm going to haggle anywhere I go. I don't care. Okay. I haggled at a Chinese restaurant the other day. Okay. The lady was telling me that her wings were better there than at Wingstop and that they charge more. And I'm like, no, they don't. I'm like, they charge less. And I negotiated a better rate on my dinner for me and Daniel. Okay. Ended up picking up an extra large side of fries for each of us for the same exact price that we would have paid without them. I don't care where you go. Negotiating is possible anywhere. And yeah, I guess it could be awkward and it can feel a little bit weird to put yourself in a negotiation situation at, I don't know, the zoo or something. You know, there's certain places where it's going to be a little more awkward, but if you have a pretty girl across from you and you can make her smile and you can make her day, you might be able to get a better deal. And for you women, if you can make a guy smile, let's not act like we don't understand the psychology behind this. Okay, you can certainly get yourself, into advantageous situations that don't cross the barrier of ethics, short of just being a nice person and giving a genuine smile and being happy to be there. Something to think about. I just watched a well-known designer in a furniture store ask if that was the best they could do on a light fixture. Yep. Is that your best? Is that your bottom? And then I'll even follow that up. If they say yes, I'm like, well, okay. Are you motivated to sell it? Because I'll be honest, I'm not really hyper motivated to buy, especially at that pricing. And because I'll tell you right now, there's not a thing in the world that can't be negotiated down on. If somebody is hyper fixed on their price, I'm going to call BS on that. And it's all about how you talk and speak with the person that you're working with. If you don't have that experience or that backing in negotiation, you're going to make every single buy a little bit harder. If I can scrape together an extra $5 or $10 every single time I go sourcing, if I go sourcing 3 times a week, that's $15 to $30, 52 times a year. We're talking an entire vacation and then some. Flattery will get you everywhere. Yep. Just be a good person, guys. Just be a good person. You'd be amazed with what can happen. Oh, I'm going to be here for this. 50% off the entire store 4 days in a row. I'll be there at 10 a.m. They're having a Memorial Day special. Make sure you get your coupon beforehand if you have Salvation Armies nearby you. You just have to make a purchase to be able to get one of those. That can make you a lot of flipping money, guys. I'm going to pause for some water real quick. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I will do my best to get to them. Man, I've been talking a lot again, guys. It's draining on me, especially doing it back to back. Oh no, that's not all my new stuff, is it? Nope. So we got a couple of things, okay? We had 2 things happen that don't normally ever happen, okay? One, I found something old and vintage. This is a 1992 sealed copy of Mill Borns. Okay, these are very, very hard to come by. If you scan this into Amazon, it's going to show you a price of $75. Now, that price isn't accurate, but if we look at completed listings on eBay and we look at the condition of this, it wouldn't be unreasonable to expect that I could get anywhere between $25 and $35 for this release. The first release of it was in 1975, and that edition definitely goes for more. This is a 1992 release is what we have here. Finding old sealed card games is big money. I've bought boxes of these at yard sales, new and used. There's a lot of Parker Brother games that haven't been re-released, and you can get great bucks on these. Don't turn down cards, okay? Even if you have partials, it may be worth going after. Even if you have, if I was to find one of these and it was 90% complete, and it was a category that I was looking to work heavily in, which I should probably take a note of that. I need to run ads to buy board games. I specialize in that too. I don't even know why I didn't think about that. If it's something that you specialize in, you just throw it to the side, and when you have an opportunity to complete it out, boom, easy money. So this is a great piece. Thank you for the compliment on my shirt. And, this shirt is possible because of funding from you guys. I realized, too, my fashion was super, super tired. I even got the comments on it. And I told everyone I would rather invest money into mics and gear and cameras before I update the wardrobe. But now that we're kind of getting a little bit more coming in, it's definitely going to help. And this wardrobe I'll be able to use in Vegas as well. A lot of people don't realize I do not wear these outside of the studio. I have a spot here where they get hung up, and I'll put one on before the show, and then I have another spot in the other room where they're getting ready to go to the dry cleaners, and I just bring them all in as need be. So what happened to me, guys? I found something that I've sold before on eBay. You know how rare that is to have that happen? That almost never happens. And I didn't just find one of them. I looked over my shoulder and saw one. I'm like, oh, snaps. Something I've worked with before. And I looked past it, and I saw a second one. I said, you got to be kidding me. Now, if you look this up on eBay, you're going to see this is a vacuum wine cooler. Now, this little rip here, I don't know what store it came from, but every single one I've ever gotten has had this on it. Now, the key thing here is the design. People buy these based on the design. I've noticed that this one and the one that has the butlers on it do exceptionally well. Now, there's other ones that you're going to find that are going to be cheaper online. Some of them are going to be as cheap as $10, but the last time I sold this design, I got $30 for it, and I sold it twice before already. I don't know how I'd gotten two before, but finding two more at the same time is great. I understand the comps may be lower, but keywords are very important on this one. We have music, cellos, butlers, waiters. We can use wine cooler. The amount of keywords you can get away with cross search on this is insane, and having them all in your title is what's really going to drive this along. Good grief, you take one look at me and you never dream that I do the numbers I do on eBay. Some people move some serious volume, guys. And I think there's some confusion that I'm like some super mega ultra seller. I don't sell a ton online. I do maybe, when everything's up to speed, I'm doing $4,000 to $6,000 gross, probably closer to $3,000 to $4,000 net after everything's said and done. I work on very, very good margins, which means that I get to work much less for the same amount of money than most people do. But do what works best for your business, guys. That's what I tell you. That's the most important part. But yeah, I got two of those. Great return on investment on those as well. I'm a thirsty boy tonight. Oh, I forgot our other slide. I'm a dummy. Here's all the stuff that you guys can do to help support our show if you haven't done so yet. Like and subscribe to our videos. Subscribing really helps us out, improves our placement within search, and then also liking really, 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 really helps us out too. I like how that's falling behind the text. That's new. But yeah, if you haven't done so yet, definitely do that. If you'd like to leave a super chat, it goes a long way, helps us out towards our eBay 2019 fund. All the links on screen are available down in the description as well. You can join our group for free. You can join our honey to be able to save money with your online purchases, and you can check out Pirate Ship to get your cheapest available rates on shipping. It's amazing. If you would like to support our show and help us with what we are doing, definitely check out our Patreon. My like keeps disappearing. What the heck? You only got to press it once per device. If you'd like to help support the show, check out our Patreon, guys. Patreon is cracking right now. We got so many people in there. I am so pleased with the growth of Patreon. We are maybe 1 year away from being totally reliant on that and maybe being able to back off advertising. If you join our Patreon too, you're going to get some fantastic cards that you're going to be able to send out to your customers. Thank you cards for them. On top of that, you're going to get 24/7 group chat, which is fantastic. So many fun people in there. We've also added game chat. If you enjoy playing games online, you like playing word games and kinetic style games, you join our Patreon. You get to play games with all of the people within our community. You also get round-the-clock support, direct crisis support if you get a negative feedback, if you have somebody, hack your account. If you're dealing with a serious fraud issue, you get round-the-clock support on that as well. You can just call me directly. You get your own personal robot on the shelf of awesome private training videos and mentions in our credits each and every week. Please check it out. Patreon.com/BOLORAMA. For as little as 50 cents a day, you can help keep us on the air. We're working our way towards that point of self-sufficiency. It'd be great to get there. But thank you to all the patrons who do help make this show possible. Let's take a look at some of the other items that I've got. Now, I pulled this to the side specifically for Mindy. Now, I ordered this shirt online from Tilly's. It's the Alone Forever Club shirt, which hopefully it'll fit after I try it on. And I was telling Mindy that I get so frustrated with little things within the world. Okay? Nonsense stuff that shouldn't happen anymore. And we talked about tags on shirts. Okay, guys? We talked about these tags. And Mindy said, no, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. There's always a way to get the tag out. And I told her, I'm like, no, they put the dang tag into the bead of fabric. And what am I talking about? Okay, here we go. So you can see how this tag is connected here. And look where this tag goes. It goes underneath this little chunk of fabric. Under there. So when you remove this, the plastic gets stuck in this bead of fabric right here, which means you have to force it out. You have to wiggle the thing out. And see, there's a chunk of fabric there. You got to wiggle this bad boy out to even be able to take the thing off, or you will forever have a piece of plastic in there, or you have to screw up your shirt to be able to get this out. And this is why I left this to the side so I could show that to Mindy. She's telling me it's not that bad. I'm like, no, it's really annoying. It's a thing that they need to stop doing. Just punch a hole someplace else in the shirt. Put it at the end of the sleeve or something. No one cares. Put it in the armpit. Why don't they run it through the armpit? Nobody's looking there. And it would be good to have a hole there. It'd be great for ventilation. Just wanted to show that. But yeah, let's take a look at some of the pickups that I got throughout the week. We're going to hammer through them. Some of you guys have seen them already. We picked up an HD cam. Really glad that I got this. If you are a creator and you're looking for a 720p camera for your computer, I picked this up for just a few bucks. Great return on investment. You can't sell this on Amazon because it's a Microsoft product, but on eBay, I believe it's about a $30 bill over there. Kiki Mom says, thank you. I am listening while I list. Glad I caught you live today. I cannot stand those tags. I had 2 plastic tags like that. Yep, you know exactly what I'm talking about and the frustration that comes with it. I got this hat, guys. I always have to stress this. If you see something out of the norm, definitely stop and pick it up, inspect it. Fitted hats do exceptionally well, especially by the brand 5950. They do great. The cleaner the hat, the better. Hats like this can be gently restored too with a warm rag to remove any sweat marks across the interior. Good products like this move very, very quickly too, as there's a very captive audience of people who are looking to get that type of product for themselves. We got this too. I didn't open this one up, but I really wanted to. This is a Snow White mug. And I got this from a lady who had a handful of interesting items with her. I don't like the fact that this is taped. It may affect its overall... Just cut myself a little bit. May affect its overall final sale price, but I think having a box for it is better than having no box. And I didn't open it while I was there. I just really gave the person the benefit of the doubt that it's not going to be completely screwed up. That it's going to be in good condition, good, hopefully saleable condition. But boy, is there a lot of tape here across it. They taped all 4 sides. Remember, guys, when you're cutting, hold it loosely with your thumb on top and point it directly at your chest. I'm kidding. Don't do it. Okay. So we got some damaged foam. I really hate low quality foam as well. Type of foam that goes everywhere. And then we got the mug. The mug's actually in great shape. This is a good looking mug. It's in fair shape. It's in bad shape. It's in unsaleable shape. That is unfortunate. It has been cracked and repaired in multiple places, even all the way across the bottom. This is going in the trash bin. I don't know why somebody in good faith would sell something like this at a yard sale taped up like that. That is just unfortunate. If somebody would like this as a decorative piece, let me know. Otherwise, I will be binning this. People. That same person did sell me some glass. We got a couple of really cool pieces. This one has a bit of green on the interior. I really like this piece. Now, I'm not a glass collector myself. It's nice to look at while I have it here, but it's not going to be something that I'm going to keep. Really nice paperweight, too. Planter, I'm using my broken Tupperware for plants. That's a great idea, actually. Yeah. Great little paperweight. If you're in the paperweight market and the glass market, feel free to send me a DM. This one has a lot of character to it. You can tell that they use these rods for something else, and then they made that with the ends. We also got this one here. I think this is a tapir. And whenever you have your glass, and I'm far from a glass expert, but I know when you have that bottom bit right there, I believe it means that it was broken off from a actual rod of glass and it wasn't machine pressed. So this is a hand formed piece. Somebody used the tools to shape and form this while the glass was hot. Sorry guys, I'm just inspecting it under the light. Very cool, very cool. I definitely think that there was some machining still involved in this. Just because the bottom looks like it's finished off with some type of sanding plate. And then we also got this one. This one might be my standout little gem of the bunch. This is a hollow piece right here. It may be a rat. Maybe this one is the one that I might think is a tapir. It's hollow with no holes. And I believe that's a hard thing to do when it comes to glass making, especially with the cooling process. I expect to make a few bucks on that one too. And hand blown. Thank you. That's what I was looking for. And then we have this one. Mindy helped me out looking up this one. This is a carnival glass pig. She tells me it's worth 25 bucks. She does some heavy search though, a lot of keywords. So I'm going to have to follow up and do a little more additional research, but I wouldn't be shocked if it was in that ballpark. Cool piece. Again, it has the unfinished bottom on it. So maybe some bucks there. Maybe make some money on it. Now I also picked up this cool little flight stick. Anytime you see joysticks, like really robust ones or any type of specialty type of tech or device, it's always worth an extra look. This is another one of those types of pieces. The best you can do when you're working with stuff like this is to go through and press all the buttons. Make sure the actuation feels smooth. If it feels loose, like there's a lot of play in it, you may want to consider passing on it. But if it feels the part, looks the part, the connectors aren't smashed, because I understand sometimes when you buy stuff like this, you don't have much to work with. But look at your connectors, make sure your pins aren't smashed, make sure there's no corrosion on the ends. You can increase your chances of making a better buy. Now, I know this means much less, seeing as how I just pulled out a broken mug. You want to give people the benefit of the doubt if it means that you're going to get a better price. I essentially got that mug for free with everything else. That was bundled in. Stuff like this. So I went through, tested it, and these are the people that I was talking about regarding that business card that I'm going to be redoing. So doing business with them, doing transactions with them, I'm probably going to make more money handling the art end of things for them than I actually will on their products. But I paid $3 for this, and it's going to sell for about $50+. It's a very regular seller on eBay. Let's see what else we got. So this is one that I didn't go into great detail with yesterday. And these are Magic Tournament sleeves. And I don't know why, but this is moist for some reason. These look like Magic cards, but these are just the sleeves. Now, these are Ultra Pro brand, which is the gold standard for card sleeves, or has been for a long time. There's new brands obviously coming to the market all the time that are looking to take that space, but these ones are officially sanctioned tournament legal sleeves. And I think I'm going to make some good money on these. I got 100 of them. 100 plus is what he said in here. And they're unused, which is great. You don't ever want to buy used cards. These are for putting trading cards inside of. You don't ever want to buy used sleeves off anyone. There's I don't think any examples of ones that are really going to be worth the money to actually get. I need to roll my back out. But yeah, these ones right here, I expect to make $30 to $50 on. Further research is going to be needed, but at $2, it's an absolutely fantastic buy. I talked about this one too. I picked up a helmet, carbon fiber top. I didn't even look the bad boy up. I found this while I was out playing on the course, some disc golf. And it was laying there. It's a DOT approved one. It's probably worth $20 to $40, maybe even more than that. If somebody wants to look it up, you can. It's a Voss 700. Actually, let's just look it up together. Let me just pull up my phone and see what it's going for. So it's one of those things where you can. Oh, I got a message online. Ooh, hello. Forgive me. Voss 700 CF. So it's one of those things where you don't want to overcomplicate your search. We were talking about this earlier. I'm not going to be putting in the size. I'm not going to be putting in that it's for youth. You're going to eliminate so much of the stuff that you can find. If I was to say youth Voss extra large 700 CF dot approved, you know how much stuff isn't going to be showing up? So let me find this search. Filter price plus shipping lowest first. Buy it now. I know this is so, it says no results found. See, I think it says Voss, but maybe you guys need to tell me what it actually says. Is that DOS? I don't know if you can see that. See that top line? I'm reading that as Voss. And Wheel Kid, you know, I dug around. I didn't see any Black Lotuses. I think he had a stack of Fetchlands, Alpha Fetchlands, and some Arabian Nights stuff. But I just wanted the sleeves. Just the sleeves. I told him he can just go ahead and like use those as tinder or something. Just get them out of here. And if you're a broker or dealer in Magic and you're looking for some stuff, I've got 15 grand worth of Ultimate Masters sitting here and about another 5 grand worth of MM3 sitting here. If you're looking to make some buys or trades or sales or something like that. Yeah, that's what I was seeing too. Voss 700. I'm going to look it up really quick. Yeah, there it is on. Holy cow. It is an expensive helmet. Let's go extra large. Gloss black, matte. This one's matte. Mine's carbon fiber, actually. So it looks like it's about a $80 to maybe a $150 helmet. Holy cow. And I just found that on the ground while I was out and about. That's nuts. Also, guys, I picked up some aging cream, anti-aging cream. Well, I wonder if there's such a thing as pro-aging, like to speed up the aging process for people who feel too young. I'm almost positive, just because there's other procedures you wouldn't think. But yeah, this is for slowing down the aging. Okay. I picked these up, paid $2 a pop for them. I have another one too that's open. They sell for about $20 each. Don't shrug off the beauty market. There's a lot of money to be made on it, especially if you can find brand new sealed products as well. That would be the sun, yes. It's called Baby Oil in the Sun. Time to get my shuffle on. We got one of these iPod shuffles. I actually paid $5 for this. Has everything with it as well. Sells for about $50. Condition is king on these things. If they're in great condition, you're really going to be able to rake in the money. Color plays a factor as well. Don't just assume, just like with the other thing, we were talking about the VacuVin wine cooler. Design and color, they can matter. So don't just assume that they all fall into the same blanket. These purple ones are good ones as well. Pam, you might not be live right now. You may want to verify that you are running live right now when this message gets to you. Because we talked about that about 5 or 6 minutes ago. Purple, dang it. I may need that. Really need purple stuff. So if you are interested in this and you're buying it for you, it's for you personally, then you can get it for cost plus shipping. Just send me a DM after the show. I'll be happy to mail it out to you. And that's a perk that you get as a patron of the show. We may be restricting that to $30 patrons. We're still trying to figure out the logistics behind it because, you know, I want to make sure that I can offer a service to those who are supporting the show. But at the same time, you know, boys gotta make a profit. So I gotta get paid somehow. But you know, I want to be able to share what I get with other people if you are going to keep it and enjoy it for yourself. Got a puzzle. I love finding brand new puzzles. Anytime I see a puzzle on the shelf, I just kind of run my finger under the bottom side to see if it's sealed. Always great to find brand new ones. I didn't even scan this one into Amazon because I didn't care at the time. Milton Bradley ones do okay. It's kind of a grab bag. Let's see how this one scans in right now. The reason I didn't scan it is because I have a local place to be able to move puzzles with, so I'm okay not being able to list them online. This looks like it appears to be a multi-used SKU by Milton Bradley. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the camera function to actually scan the face of the product. We got a slow-moving ASIN, 3.5 million rank. The reason why this ASIN is probably moving slow is due to the price. They're asking $54.99 on this puzzle. Odds are if I was to send one in and I was able to beat the competition, get it down to 30, maybe, I would probably cross-reference with eBay. If I could get it down to a more competitive price, I'd probably be able to shift it out the door. Oh, yeah, no. You want to look for paper sealed as well. It's a great little addition to get out there for people. We're also going to check this puzzle, too. These dogs are too damn cute. And here's the thing, guys. I bought both of these puzzles. I didn't look at the design on either of them. This is my first time genuinely looking at them, because when I buy them and I touch it, like, oh, okay, that's a sealed puzzle. Cool. How much do you want for it? Didn't even look at them. Look at these puppies. Look at them. Oh, they're so cute. We had some dogs here at the house. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram, it's at some guy from Fresno. Check out my Instagram. We had a really cute husky that I had bought for my friend about a year ago here at the house as me and my buddy went out and got some lunch today. So what I'm going to do is, this is a Rose Art one. So I'm going to start with the barcode. We're going to see if the barcode brings anything up. This does not have a barcode. Oh, no, I'm a liar. I am a dirty liar. So hopefully it's not a multi-SKU again. And if it is, I'll be able to show you what that looks like. Nope, it is not a multi-SKU. So we have a rank here on this puzzle of 2.1 million, none active though. Okay, and these are beagles apparently. So a beagle puzzle for me is a pretty strong keyword search. I will probably send this one. I'll probably even send the other one into Amazon as well. Play around with pricing until they go out the door. I paid $1 on the pair of them, which is just a screaming deal. And I've already got a whole bunch of big stuff. All those board games you saw me get over the last couple of weeks as well. Those are going to be going in too. This is a straight to Amazon item as well. This is a wireless motion sensor. It's upside down. It's by Radio Shack. Certain Radio Shack stuff does particularly well. But as always, you don't need my advice to tell you this. When you find something that's brand new, it's almost always worth looking up, unless you can peg it as being a cheap, chintzy, overseas product. Unless you have that true eye for it, though, you should probably be looking everything up, because there are going to be some things that surprise you, and I can't stress it enough. Don't walk by an item until you know what it's worth, because if I ever show something on camera and you say, oh, I wouldn't even stopped for that, I would have never even thought about that. That means that you're probably going a little too quick through your stores. This one's a great one. Daniel pointed this one out. He's like, hey, you going to look that up? And I'm like, oh, yeah, sure, if you don't want it. And he doesn't like dealing with larger things or things that could be missing pieces. And, you know, some of us are a little bit more reserved about that. And I say you got to feel it out. Okay, you got to feel out the situation. You got to see what's going to work best for you. With this, with the Monopoly Transformers, I talked with the lady, and she was selling it for somebody else, and she said he is so like particular, and she didn't use that word, she used the A word. He is so particular about his board games. He has a whole collection of them, and as soon as I heard that, I'm like, oh, I don't even have to worry. Everything's probably going to be in there. And the big selling point on this is the minifigures, and we're going to take a peek at these. We didn't even open this last night. We're going to take a peek at these minifigures. Now, I have already, as soon as I got home and I had nothing else to do, I was exhausted from yard selling for 3 hours that morning. A lot of getting in and out of the car. I didn't sleep well. So I sat down after I got home and said, okay, I'm just going to sit here and just get all the sorting and arranging done for this, so that way I don't have to worry about it later. Check out this board. So this Monopoly set's actually worth a little bit more money because everything inside of it is custom. The price on this is $40 shipped. If you're interested in it, it's 100% complete in very good condition. I wouldn't give it the like new seal though, but it's very close to that. Remember, undersell, over deliver. Okay, so some people might mark this as like new. I would mark this as very good, and then I would let the customer be happy with the results. Don't undersell too much because you don't want to leave money on the table. But like I said, I've already bagged and sorted everything. So we have It had all the money with it, and I went ahead and got that sorted and in order, and it was everywhere. It was a complete mess. It looked like a child who was the last person to play with it, and that's what made me ask those questions. All the cards are custom as well, and these are the Elsa bags that I picked up the other day. I went ahead and got those sorted and stacked, and then all the houses and figures are custom as well, and I'll show you the detail. The amount of detail that they put into these figures is nuts. Okay, look at this, and they are tiny. I don't know if that's going to be able to focus, but yeah. And there's 6 of them, and they're all about that size. Yeah. Really, really cool figures. And that's what makes this worth what it's worth, is that people want those figures for the most part. I even had somebody message me and say, would you sell me the figures separately? And I'm like, if you want to pay, I don't know, $35, because I would save that money on the shipping, or maybe $32, I'll be happy to sell you just the figures. I don't know what they command online currently. I didn't want to spend the time doing a search. We get a lot of people, because I posted this on my old business page for my closed down video game store. I thought, what the heck, why not post it there? Somebody might bite for it. We get a lot of looky-loos, though. Anything from Rat Shack's going to be becoming more extinct, so it's going to be getting popular as time goes on. I agree with you. That's a fantastic comment, Pat. Yeah, it's anytime you find that type of stuff, even old cables that you would think aren't going to be worth anything, there's a lot of value behind them as well. Here's something I didn't show yesterday. I actually forgot about this in the bottom of a box. Someone might be interested in this. This is a collection of gel pens, and there's a couple of brands in here that are worth a little bit more money than your average brand. They're actually towards the line of art pens. We even have some here that are from Japan as well. And these gel pen collections, I'll probably get $15+ for something like this. I might even be able to keep a couple for myself. Not that I'm particularly needing more pens right now, but I do some art projects, and I could see a couple of them benefiting from having something like this. If you find sets like this and you can get whole bags for $1, there's money to be made. Whole bags of old art supplies of any variety are going to be good. Bags of any specialty trade it's going to be worth investigating. So don't turn down stuff like this if you see it for $1. Even if you see a bag of miscellaneous pens and you can get 40, 50, 60 of them for $1, it's always going to be worth buying. There's going to be somebody out there who collects something. I've seen pens for like Viagra sell really well. Pens for like Marlboro salespeople. Old IBM pens can sell really, really good. There is so much money for pen collectors that it's no different than buying. You would buy $1 scratch-off ticket. This is a scratch-off ticket you get 60 chances with. So if you can get that whole bag of pens, just go for it. And you got almost nothing to lose, unless your finances are so tight you can't justify spending $1 you might not get back. That's a whole nother story, though. So. And the last item we're going to be showing tonight, guys, what about if I took this bad boy to eBay Open? What if this was like my go-to camera? I brought an underwater camera with me. I don't even think this thing shoots higher than, I don't know, 440. I don't think it's... Ooh, that got me. Yeah, this lens is in great shape. This cover's probably never been opened, and I don't even want to leave it open that long. But, yeah. This, as an untested unit without the battery, I expect to get $40 for it. It's a little on the heavy end. I probably shouldn't have gotten it, but I was looking at it as a project piece. I don't know. I paid $3, I think, and I think I might be able to utilize the lens in some capacity. I don't know. $3. Who cares? It's not that bad. Believe me, one cable can change your life. Yep, I've sold some cables for over $200 before. Yeah, I have the standing record for a specific cable. No one has sold it for more than I have, and that record's been held for 6 years now, I think. So the market took a downturn after I sold it for that much. Additional product came to the market. It is a great camera for Shark Week. I think Discovery might strike down my listing if I was to do something like that. Oh, and I also picked up a Yahtzee. Radica games are absolutely fantastic to go after, so definitely look out for those as well. Guys, we are at the end of our show today. It's been a fantastic one. I do want to say thank you to everyone who took the time to be here tonight, especially those of you who were here yesterday. Your continued support is of great significance to me and was very important that I redid this. And I know some people, I got some hate. Some people unsubscribed. Some people disliked the video where I explained exactly what happened and why we were doing a reshoot. And I explained that I really do hold myself to a higher standard now because I am not doing this for free. I receive pay for this now. Not just from the patrons, not just from the people who super chat and support the show, but forgive me guys, but also through our sponsors. And it's very important that I put out a high quality product. And yesterday's show just simply did not meet the standards at which I hold myself to, and I hold the brand as a whole to. I don't want somebody being introduced to us for the first time and having seen yesterday's video. It just wasn't good enough. And I appreciated all the support that came my direction, but this goes back to what are we doing differently to separate ourselves from our competitors and those that we work with, work against within the markets that we work in. So as a reseller, what do you do differently than those around you? As a content creator, what do you do differently than those around you? And it's not necessarily a competition to make the best videos. At the end of the day, we compete against ourselves, where we put that bar for ourselves, what our expectations for our own personal goals are, and what we're looking to do moving forward to better our position in life. I've been told that I work too much. And I explained to the person who told me that I really love what I do. And sometimes the final product of my work brings me more joy than going on an extended vacation somewhere. When I look back on the video that I produced, the Reseller Miss video, I look at all the hours, tons of hours I dumped into getting that done and producing it at a level that makes me truly happy. I can walk away and say that is a world-class piece that I think anyone coming to my channel for the first time can really get value out of. And it's going to be our flagship video. It's going to be the first video people see on our landing page moving forward. It's because I really believe in giving it your all. And as much as I appreciate the sentiments that were sent my direction, Jay, it's okay, it was still a great show, you know, and the support, it means a lot to me. But that again goes against the belief that I have that you need to continually try to be the best version of you that you can be. Not necessarily against others. McDuty, with the $4.99 chat, and I saw your message earlier that you deleted. I appreciate you commenting as always. I thought both shows were great. Thanks for everything. Well, hopefully this one is just a tiny notch. A little bit, one little bit better than yesterday's. But it comes down to principles, and thank you for your $4.99 super chat. Your support is appreciated. You know, I don't see you every week, but I'm very happy when you do come through, and I appreciate every bit that comes our direction. We're cranking towards that 1K mark, and hopefully we'll hit it soon, and we're going to do whatever we need to do before eBay Open. We only have 60 more days, guys. 60 or 62 days? It's coming up very quick, and we have to start making some traction. We only have 9 more shows before eBay Open, which means we need to get a $220 average per show, or possibly have a couple of large donors step up towards the end. Oh, my computer's overheating. I got to turn my fan towards it so it can cool down. But yeah, we have a little ways to go, but thank you for that, McDuty. It is truly appreciated. So this is what I'm willing to do, because I asked you guys last week, I said, what are you willing to do so that you can make sure that you're being the best version of you that you can be? That's truly what it's about. The best version of you that you can be. And for me, that means holding myself to a very high standard for the content that I put out and not saying it's okay. Everything's okay. We're saying that things are fine. George Carlin said it best. Rest in peace, my friend. George Carlin said, not everything is fine. Hair is fine. Okay? But the reality is that I hold myself to that standard. I hope that you do too. I hope that okay isn't okay. And that we don't consider everyone to be special, that you have to work to be special. If we're all special, no one is special. certain people are going to do more to separate themselves from the pack and rise above. I received a message today that really struck a chord with me. It was somebody who said, thank you. Thank you for last night. Thank you for that I needed that kick. I needed to be reminded that I need to get things done, that I need to make things happen for myself. We talked about the importance of not giving up last night. Don't give up. It brings me great sadness to know that my roommate and friend of many years, the person who I brought into the world of reselling, has failed. And I rarely use that word, and I use that word lightly. But he has failed. He's made a series of poor decisions, lapses in judgment, mismanagement of time, mismanagement of resources, and now he is no longer capable of being a reseller moving forward. And I know what you're thinking. Like, Jay, well, he can just take your help and he can just go back and start again, right? He can just go do it again and get the ball rolling again? No, he cannot. And the reason is because he's decided for himself that he's no longer going to be able to do that. He's told himself that he cannot do this job and that he must get a regular job. You have to be very, very careful if you start feeling this way. If you allow that to creep all the way in and set itself deep within your mind and start developing and festering in your head, it will manifest itself in a way that is irreversible. Once you have decided that you cannot be successful within this industry, you are not coming back from it. You could have a great weekend, you could have a great week, you could have a great month, but that feeling is going to be there forever. I've fired over 200 people in my life. I've seen all varieties, men, women, from the ages of 14 to as old as 70. I've seen them all. And when I know I have a commission-based employee in front of me and they say, you know what, Jay, I just don't think I can do this. I just don't think it's for me. You will never save that person. They are gone. They are done. They have made the decision that commission isn't for them. Self-employment isn't for them. Only 1% of society is capable of working as a individual person, being self-employed. Only 1% can work without supervision, guidance, and direction. Now, some of us can put on this act or this facade or have this belief that we are that person. But I guarantee you, someone who watches my show, actually probably a handful of you, will fail, and it will be because of that reason. I've even had people message me, no names. I won't ever say anyone else's name on this air. Anyone who I've worked with, I will never do it. Okay, except for Daniel, who I talk about all the time. He's a great case study. But I even had somebody come to me and say, you know what, I don't think that I'm going to be able to do this. I don't think it's going to work for me. If it's not working for you, you're doing something wrong. Okay? The solution isn't to stop. The solution is to correct the problem. What other thing doesn't work and we walk away from it? Okay? I see people do it with relationships, right? Okay? Where, I don't think this relationship is going to work, and we walk away. Okay? The other partner should be smart enough to walk away. There's nothing that we want to hear less than someone telling us they don't think it's going to work. Let me ask you, if your sink stopped running in your house, would you just say, yeah, we just don't have a kitchen sink anymore. I've given up on that. God, no. Okay? You would fix that problem and you would make sure that it works because it's important to your future. Why are we so blasé about giving up on our ability as a reseller? Why is it so okay to say, I'm moving and, my husband got a promotion, and this isn't a slight to any women. Same scenario is true for the other way around. My wife got a promotion, so I just don't think I'm going to be doing it anymore. You weren't meant to do it to begin with. There's certain people that I simply will not train. Period. I don't care how much money you throw at me. You could offer me to do the full course where I literally will fly out to people and train them. It is very expensive. I will train them on site. And I have told people, no, I am not interested in training you. And they say, why? And I'll tell them, I don't believe you're going to make it. I don't do it for me. I do it for you. You are the reason I do this. This costs me money every single week. Every week. I will never make more doing this than I could if I just went sourcing. The stuff that I found in 40 minutes of sourcing is worth a couple $100. This individual video, minus super chats, so no super chats included, will earn on YouTube less than $2. Okay? Just take that into mind. Less than $2 worth of ad revenue will come from this video. Obviously we have our Patreon, which definitely helps. I wouldn't be able to do this without Patreon, that's for sure. Okay? But I will tell people I can't train you because you are doing this for the wrong reasons. If you are here purely for money, you need to leave. You have to have a passion and desire to want to do this. You have to have a passion and desire to be successful. You have to have that inner treasure hunter mentality, that gambler mentality, that social aspect where you enjoy the buy, sell, barter, trade, dance, the whole thing that goes into it. Then I can work with you. Then I can ensure your success. But as I said, though, the people who give up in this industry are destined to give up. And it was only a matter of time before it happened. But you can keep that veil of, this is what I do. This is how I make my money. But if it doesn't include that last statement, this is what I enjoy doing, it is only a matter of time before you fail. Go ahead and pull the plug now. If you don't enjoy this industry, you will fail eventually. Don't take anyone else out with you when you do it. Remember, if you're not making money here, you're doing something wrong. The training and help is out there for you. If you're not utilizing it, it is your own fault. And I tell people this, access to tools for success are more available now than at any point in history. Any point. Every minute, there's more access to information, guidance, training, and assistance than there was a minute prior. At any point in history. And if you don't utilize the things available to you, you will never advance, you will never grow, you will never get that security. If you feel unsecure about what you're doing, research more, learn more. When I edit now, I edit with confidence. When I use OBS with confidence. When I live stream with confidence. And it comes from practice and research and learning and understanding. And the same thing's true of being a professional reseller. I don't ever believe I am going to fail. It is never going to happen. It is comparable, I suppose, to denouncing the Holy Spirit within you. Now, I'm not a religious person, okay? But it is the one and only unforgivable sin. I used to go to church. I know a few things about this, okay? Once you believe that you're not going to be able to do this, and you put yourself in that position, you will never, ever recover from it. And I've had people who have left, even some people who have come back, and I still believe it's only a matter of time for some of them. I want to read some comments real quick, and I'm going to move forward with this discussion as well. If you're enjoying this discussion, please let me know. If you have comments regarding this discussion, please let me know. It's Pat the Reseller. I always try and pitch in my 2 cents worth. Lee says, reminds me of the story you talked about the other chat where the parents gave the child a restaurant of his own with everything they had. Very true, and I can expand upon that as well. I physically have no choice. This is my job now. I cannot go back and do what I did for years. Pat, regardless of your age, regardless of your condition, regardless of where you're at in life, there is always opportunity to move the goalpost forward in something that you enjoy doing. I had no clue how far this would go. And I've had many failed businesses before this. I owned a company called Central Valley Coupon. You can look it up. I lost $15,000 in that business. Okay. This business took over 2 years to turn a profit. 2 years worth of investing of my time and energy. And frankly, I'm not even close to recouping what it's cost me in lost sales and lost revenue. But if there's something you want to do, I don't care what space it's in. It can be in the creative sector. It can be in the labor sector. It can be you want to own a damn ice cream truck. You can do legitimately anything that you want to do still. You just have to want it badly enough. We hear the saying all the time, do it or die trying. Very few people die trying. Okay. I would be very disappointed with myself if I didn't take certain ideas and run them as far as I can. I tell people too, success isn't a difficult thing. You take a very, very basic idea and then you expand it all the way out. Okay? What do? I buy things and then I sell them to other people for more. There's a very, very basic idea, very small idea, but it makes thousands of dollars a month. What else do? I compile news and read it through a microphone and teach other people how to sell more stuff online. Seems like a simple enough idea. Yeah? But look where we're at now. Oh, what else do? I assisted a local artist in uploading all of his art online, and I produced the prints, roll them, pack them, and ship them out nationwide for him. Oh, wow. Okay. It's pretty cool. What else do? I'm my own editor, producer, cameraman, packer, shipper, inventory specialist, all these hats that have to be learned. Pat, I got to tell you, man, if there's something you want to do, chase it. Pat says, oh, don't get me wrong. This was kind of in the plan as retirement things. Anyway, I just kind of got tossed into it way earlier than what I figured I would. Here's the thing, buddy. Diversify your time. You really can. I'm going to do an experiment this week, and I am frankly afraid. Okay, there's two experiments that I'm doing this week because I am a big proponent on practicing what you preach, and I would love it if some of you join me in this process. So there's two things I'm going to be doing. The first one is I'm going to be using the Meetup app to go meet complete strangers by myself. I'm not taking somebody that I know. I'm not taking that security of having one person there that I know to an event. I'm using the Meetup app and I'm going to go to a restaurant or a live performance or a comedy show or something. And I'm going to meet new people and I'm going to socialize face to face, which I don't get enough of. My generation does not do this. The older generation, I love them. They'll call me up. They'll say, hey, you're in town. You want to get some coffee? I would love to get coffee. People 35 and under, they don't do this. They don't understand. They don't remember what it was like. And believe it or not, I'm of that age to where you would have to go to a payphone, okay? Go to a payphone. You know, if you were lucky, you found the ones that were maybe a quarter. If you were unlucky, it might be 50 cents. If you were really unlucky and you were some crazy busy area, it could be 75 cents or $1. And we all knew which ones the cheap payphones were. You pluck your quarter in there. Always check the coin slot. You would call your friend on the phone because you weren't able to text them. You weren't able to email them. You say, hey, you want to get together? Yeah, what do you want to do? You want to go for a bike ride or something? Head up the hill? Maybe head to the lake? Yeah, okay. What time do you want to meet? I don't know. Give me like 20 minutes, meet you at the corner? Okay. And you know what you'd do? You would bike over to the corner and you would wait for him. You would stand there and wait. And you didn't have a cell phone to play with. You would look around. You would sit on your bike. You would look at your bike, observe your surroundings, actually take nature in. And then you would go with your friend and then you would cruise up the hill. And you'd spend a day with a friend, okay? And maybe I am romanticizing the past a little bit, but man, were those good days. And we're going to talk a little bit about that too, because we talked about red pill, blue pill yesterday, and I told everyone I would expand upon that. Let me look at some of these comments really quick. Hello to you, Rob. Pleasure to have you here. Brandy says, I am my own worst enemy. That is a very powerful statement. It is a very powerful statement. We have the ability to drive our own success forward, and we have the ability to burn our success down to the ground each and every day. And it's important. Something that my late friend Chuck told me, may he rest a very comfortable life, afterlife. He said, you are never too old to be a millionaire. I love that thought process. Something I wanted to share with you guys. It's true. It's never too late. A lot of ways of getting there too. Obviously, aim for the amount that you need, but maybe not much more than that. Excess isn't necessary. If I missed your comment too, I apologize. We got quite a few up on the screen right now. McDuty says, I try and talk my wife into letting me do this full time and stop my day job, but cost of insurance is the only thing holding me back from doing it. Now, I remember a time when eBay did offer subsidized insurance through the platform, but you have to ask yourself, how much is the insurance really? Now, most people are able to, as families, get insurance for $1,000 to $2,000 a year. How much are you making doing this now? How many hours are you putting into it? If you were to double up the amount of hours, would that actually double the amount of revenue? It's an important thing to understand, because the stores aren't necessarily going to have twice as much stuff, but if you're only sourcing one day a week, then yes, there might be some viability to it. Making the transition over is absolutely amazing one. It's a freeing feeling, being able to wake up each morning and dictate how your day goes. Some days I go shop, some days I list, some days I edit, some days I film, some days I just talk with you guys and have a good time. It can be any number of different things. Sometimes I work on art projects, any number of different things, and I get to shape my day. It's a very freeing experience. If you want, actually, I hope you do, reach out to me in the DMs, and we can take a look at where your situation is now and whether or not it would be the right switch to make. Because for some, it's a fantastic switch to make. For others, it might not be the best move for you. But if insurance is only $1,000 or $2,000 for your family, and you can muster that up in a couple of days worth of work, you have to ask yourself, how much is working that day job actually holding me back? Really think about that. Big Bison says, McDuty, have you looked into healthcare sharing co-ops? That's a great idea. Brandy says, my husband wants to be paid to help me with this, so someday that will happen. I think your husband can definitely earn his own revenue doing this as well. And I think that, and I've talked about this before, if you didn't see Corey Barlow, his channel is Reseller or Power Reselling. Me and him do a show called Reseller Rewind. It's every Wednesday. I don't know what time it is. I think it's 11 Pacific Standard Time. And we talk about just different reselling things. And I said, there is nothing more powerful for your success as a business person than a partner that believes wholeheartedly in what you do. And there is nothing more damaging to your business than a partner who doesn't believe in what you do. I've seen so many situations where husbands will belittle their wives and say that it's a hobby, that it's not that important that they do it because it's not the big money earner of the house. There's a lot of real jackass husbands out there, and I'm going to say it right now. There's a lot of them out there. It's really disgusting and filthy, some of the things that they say. But it shouldn't be that way. Any job you do to generate revenue has value. Okay? And don't let anyone else tell you otherwise. If your husband wants to be a part of it, show him the process. Encourage him. Push him along. Show him how he can generate revenue for himself. And, revenue that comes to you is household revenue, I'm sure. If he gets paid for it, it's household revenue for sure. But the power of a partner that supports what you do is going to supersede anything else that you could possibly do for your business. Okay? Lee James says, it's a great show. Watch the last 2 shows Corey and yourself have done together. Yeah, I love doing the show. It is so casual. It's so relaxed. We just kind of BS and talk about reselling, talk about life. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, it's another topic that I want to tear into at another time. Pat says, don't get me wrong. This was kind of, retirement thing. Make a collect call and speak really fast with a message. Atta baby eats a boy. I remember that commercial from long ago. Kiki Mom says, I have been a reseller for years and so happy to be working full-time for myself, always learning. And that's important. Never stop learning. It's very important. Pat says, I remember when cell phones, the first minute was free. I could answer my phone saying, you got 59 seconds. That is so true. And one text message would cost 1 minute. Kiki says, I resell on several platforms, including FBA. My health is much better now that I left my university job. I make exercise a priority, 53, and still not taking prescriptions, which helps keep my costs down. Yes. Don't just invest in your business in the traditional sense, where you're buying, toner and buying, boxes and packing materials. The best investment you can make in your business is yourself. buy that gym membership. Write it off as a business expense because you're improving your own health, which means that you can operate better as a business. Talk with your CPA before doing that. I'm not allowed to give tax advice. Tax advice is just for humor only. I have to give that disclaimer. But yes, invest in yourself. And also, we've talked about this before, spending money on yourself too, buying yourself stuff. It will make you a happier person. Small purchases that have vast improvements in quality of life. Yeah, it's a good thing to do. Make sure you do that, okay? Let's see here. Yes, sir. Has no spouse. Uh-oh, my computer wants to restart. Do not restart. Details. No, do not restart this computer. It wants to restart it. So, guys, obviously we're doing a continuation on our talk from yesterday, and yesterday I really got off the grid a little bit, and I know some people enjoy this type of conjecture and this conversation, I suppose. And I talked yesterday about how I'm not worried about politics. I'm not worried about our atmosphere, our warming of the global warming. I'm not worried about the laws that are in the news right now. I don't believe that that is going to be the reason why society falls. Now, any one of those on their own could totally be the reason why. Sure. I feel that the reason why society is going to fall is because of the vast separation between humans here on this planet. I have never seen anything like it in my life. People are forgetting how to communicate with other people. Now, you might not be seeing this at your particular age range. Obviously, I understand that I'm speaking to an older audience, and I thank you that you respect me that much, that you listen to the things that I have to say. It means more than you realize. My generation is screwed. They have forgotten how to communicate with each other. It is not okay to walk up to somebody's door without texting them to let them know that you are there first. How weird is this? People don't pick up the phone to call other people and ask them how their day is going because they know how they're doing because they look at them on social media. People are forgetting how to date. People are getting inundated with this false ideal of what a partner should be because of mainstream media driving it down people's throats that a guy like me is not sufficient enough, or that a beautiful woman is not beautiful enough. I feel that the fall of our society is going to be the separation of humans from one another. Birth rates are going down, especially here in America. Okay, divorce rates are going up. We're seeing some crazy stuff happening right now within society, and I don't think enough people are talking about it. There's some content creators that I watch who are definitely to the right, okay? And some of the stuff that they talk about really gets my mind jogging. We're talking people like Sargon of Akkad, Thunderfoot, Chris Ray Gunn, Shoe on Head, some really, really great, frankly controversial figures, but they talk about the direction that society's going, and I would be, I don't know, I'd feel bad if I didn't bring it up at some point. Like I said, this week I'm going to be doing the Meetup app, and I'm going to document how it goes, and I'm going to let you guys know. I'm excited and curious and looking forward to the experience. There's one other thing that I'm going to do that I am frankly concerned about, and I don't know why. I don't get why I'm concerned about it. I will be turning off electronics for 24 hours. Okay? And this sounds like, why is it so nutty for me to say that? Why is it so difficult to wrap my head around that idea that I'm going to turn off all of my electronics? My cell phone, my TV, everything, radio, music, all of it. For 24 hours, okay? I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't understand how to operate for 24 hours. Does anyone, does this sound like a crazy notion to you? Would anyone join me in this process? Is anyone willing to take on this challenge to turn off all, you don't even want to see a TV in passing. You have no interest in it. Is anyone willing to do this for 24 hours, turn off all electronics? From the time you wake up to the time you go to bed, 0 electronics for a day. I don't even understand what I'm going to do. But I need to be part of the change that I want to see. I'm going to do my best to try and find humans and interact with people and do things without having a cell phone. I'm going to leave it at home. And I know that even sounds crazy too. I remember a time before having one of these. I know you do too. I remember a time before having Netflix and YouTube. I'm not even going to watch YouTube for a day. That's madness to me. Skipping YouTube for an entire day. Oh, Brandy, no. We got to get rid of all electronics. No electronics for a day. I mean, make sure you can drive your car. It's combustion. Just don't use the damn radio. Will anyone join me on this? Is anyone willing to say, I will go 24 hours without electronics? I would love it if somebody would. But I understand if you don't. We are very dependent and very reliant on our electronic devices. I obviously need it for work. I obviously need it to do this production. I can't do it on a Sunday, that's for damn sure. Okay. Let me take you out to the wilderness, no problem. You know what? Maybe I will. I've never been camping before. But here's the thing. People go camping and they take their damn cell phones with them. They bring generators so that that way they can bring their video games with them. It blows my mind. Go for a hike, go to the mountains. I will go 24 hours over the weekend. I will be camping. Yeah. I could. OMG, no way. I got a lot of comments. I'd love to see somebody else try this. Can't list on no electronics day. Yeah. It's going to be a whole day without listing. But I think unplugging could be really powerful, maybe. It could maybe tell me more about myself. Maybe learn a little more. Yeah, I don't mean TV in the traditional sense. We monitors. Any type of monitor you have in front of you is essentially a TV. Obviously it's not, over the air type transmission, but it's still a TV nonetheless. But I'm going to be doing that. The plan is to do it this week. Kind of depends on how the week shapes out. 39 days of CBS Survivor would be the best camping. Lee, I'm going to tell you something. I have a CBS All Access account. If you want the username and password for it, you're welcome to use it. You can go back and watch any season you want. Actually share it with another patron, but I'll be happy to share it with you as well. Yeah. So guys, yesterday we talked about red pill, blue pill. And I asked you guys, I said, hey, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go do a little research. Go get a little familiar with the topic. Those of you who don't know, red pill, blue pill basically means it's from the Matrix. You have two options. You can take, I can't remember, what is the colors? Is the red pill the one, the knowing of all? You have your red pill you can take, and you can know all the secrets in the world. You can understand things on a higher level, a greater plane, and you have your blue pill. You have your blue pill, which is the pill that you take to stay right where you're at, or even go back. To be able to go to a time before you knew all these things. And some days I struggle with life. Not in an anxiety or depression type way or anything that you need to be worried about. But I struggle sometimes knowing that there's people in this world who won't take the red pill. Okay, I think I have it right. I'm going to verify really quick. You're throwing me off my game here. Yeah, you take the blue pill, the story ends, you wake up in your bed and you believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, you show how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more, right? I got it backwards still? Help me out here. Yeah, he has to swallow the red pill to be able to understand all the secrets of the world. I totally had it right. Yeah, no, you throw me off my game here, Pam. So, The concept being, if you take the red pill, you get to unlock all the secrets of the world. You get to know everything that's actually going on. You get to know all the things. You get access to all the knowledge of the world around you. I'm part of Team Red Pill, and there might be some of you who are part of Team Blue Pill. And for those of you, I wish sometimes. I really truly do, some days, that I could go back to a time before all of this. Before I learned about politics. Before I learned about any type of hot button issue. I don't even want to say what they are because it'll demonetize this video. Sometimes I wish I could go back to a day where I worked a normal job, where things were structured. I went in, I punched the clock, came home, made a shitty dinner, maybe had a beer, just had a nice, simple existence. There's something to be envious about people who are still on the blue pill. The lack of understanding of life and society has a certain level of bliss attached to it. And there's some of us that are on the red pill arena, and we watch other people go through life, pass through completely oblivious to all the things that are actually happening around them that are changing the landscape for them. I look at Brexit as a fine example. We're watching a single country trying to tear itself away from the EU, and we're seeing these massive divides happening amongst the people right now. You have the people that fully understand what's going on, and the people who have no flipping clue what's going on. And we're seeing it happen here domestically as well. Shit, we even see it happen on eBay. You know, that's partly why I'm here. That's partly why I released the myths video. Do any of you guys feel that as well? You guys ever have that slight tinge sometimes where you say, man, if I could just go back to a simpler time before knowing all the things that I know. I was talking with a guy from the swap meet, and we went on for about 20-30 minutes about everything you can think of. We talked about like the New World Order, and we talked about, very popular conspiracy theories that have made their rounds and everything. It's crazy. I'll tell you guys, if you haven't done so yet, dive down the rabbit hole of YouTube. If you want my list of subscriptions, the channels that I watch, there is some crazy stuff going on in the world that so many people just simply are oblivious to. But I just wanted to talk about that just a hair, because it kind of ties everything together right now. It kind of, hopefully for those of you who understand what I'm saying, it'll help better understand my concerns about society and the fact that they're slightly more well-founded than the average guy who's on YouTube. Guys, that's everything for today. It's been a heck of a show. It is 7:40. We've been on air for what? 3 hours. Holy cow. I can at least say that this show is better than the last one. Guys, thank you so much for being here today. Today has been the Reseller Roundup for May 20th, 2019. Heck of a show. Make sure you stick around for that outro, guys. I played it last night, but this is the only place that you're going to be able to see it. We got some extra bits at the end. And if you have some suggestions for this outro, we have 6 more weeks to go. And I kind of know where I want to take the story, but if you have something that you want to see added to the outro, let me know. Okay, if you have some special requests that even goes beyond that, maybe you want to do something special and interesting and do a shout out to somebody within our outro, maybe we can arrange that for you. Just let me know. And then I am really excited about the following set of outros. I told Pam what it's going to be. Pam can tell everyone in the comments how excited she is as well. It's a very, very interesting idea. I'm moving more towards original sketches coming on the next one. But for this outro, we're keeping it fun. A lot of stop motion animation. I've got a couple thousand more pictures to take over the next week. It's going to be interesting. Thank you again to everyone who watched. Thank you to all of our patrons for supporting this show. Thank you to Mr. Duty, as well as, I can't remember who else left a super chat. Hold on one second. Let me make sure I don't want to forget anyone. Thank you to Mr. McDuty. Thank you to, that's the only one I'm showing. We only had one super chat tonight. Thank you so much to you, buddy. And thank you to all of our patrons for helping support the show. We got one from Joe too. Is that tonight? I think that was last night. Yeah. So thank you to everyone for being here this evening. It's been a great time. I'm really fortunate and thankful that you guys came back to tonight's show. It means a lot to me. Tell a friend, share it around. That video is going to be premiering this Wednesday. Thank you all so much for watching. And remember, if you don't make that money, someone else will. Have a great night. Man, oh man, was that a heck of a show that we just had. And I know what you're probably thinking. You're like, Jay, you were just here a second ago. You said you were going to roll the outro and we're still talking. Why are we still talking if you said you were going to do the outro? Because this is the outro and you didn't even realize it. Yeah, I know things don't always seem as they appear, but I thought I would make a little gaff of it, have a little bit of fun. So just like with the last one, 10 revisions. This is number 4 of 10 that you're going to be seeing over the next 10 weeks. We've been doing this forever now. So I guess we'll start out as always and say thank you to our base level patrons. Thank you to all of you for supporting the show for so long. Some of you guys have been around forever. I truly appreciate that. And then I also want to give a thank you to our premium level patrons. Those of you who have been contributing even more to help keep us on air. Thank you to all of you as well. And it's going to be a little bit more difficult. Obviously, there's no green screen, but we're going to have a whole lot of fun with this. And lastly, we have our premium tier patrons, which I don't think we have any as of now. Well, if we do, place some right there, but I don't think we do. So thank you so much for watching. And just remember, your guys' continued support is what keeps me on air and keeps me working hard and keeps me digging up the truth. So that way we can all grow smarter and financially proficient together. That's about it. Have a great day.